Hello, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Scarish Storytime.
Woo! Super excited to be here. I hope I didn't blow out your eardrums, but Storytime is like my favorite thing of the week.
I thought we decided not to be loud.
Well, I'm trying to not be loud to the listener/viewer, but to you, I'd like to cause your ears as much pain as humanly possible. So I kind of turn towards you, but away from the mic, so I can accomplish both those goals at the same time.
I'll accept this.
Right on.
For now.
So who are we?
So I'm Robin Grace, and this is
Adam Diaz. Hello.
And we're here to tell you some spooky paranormal stories, I guess.
We call them homegrown horrors in this case because these stories are the ones that you guys have sent to us, which is fantastic. And if you guys want to reach out to us with your paranormal or touching, moving stories, we got a lot of those as well. You can reach out to our email address, which is storytime@scarish.com. You can reach out to us on Facebook, facebook.com/scarishpodcast. You can message us directly, even if you're just looking for someone to talk to. It doesn't have to be something we put on the show. Or if you're looking for some instant feedback, you can join the group and post your story in our Facebook group, which just went over 400 members today.
Yes.
Which is super awesome, and get some instant feedback. Or you can join the Discord, which is rapidly approaching 100 members. So those are good ways for instant feedback. And if you have a very short thing you'd like to let us know, you can always tweet at us at ScarishPod. So those are the best ways to reach out to us. And I'll do a quick mark, and we'll do a quick shout out to everyone watching us on Twitch.
There's something wrong with the sink.
There's something wrong with the sink. Awesome.
Yes.
It had totally been working just fine. That stinks. Someone's saying it's Twitch. Someone's saying... Oh, wow, that sucks. Let me check and see if the way we had it set up before is still working. Yeah, it's showing that it should be synced up, so...
Okay, so it's
that
just...
stinks.
Twitch is off.
Twitch is off. Check us out on youtube.com/c/scarish/live. See if it's off over there as well. I show we have 7 people in the YouTube over there, so anyone in YouTube that wants to let us know whether or not our audio is synced or not, that would be fantastic.
Really helpful.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it. Cool. But as those of you who can see, which should be hopefully everyone at this point, maybe hearing isn't going so well. It's off on YouTube too. That's terrible. Yeah, everything's the exact same. It's because OBS just recently had an update, so let me try something and we'll see if it fixes it. And then if not, I can just bang my head on the floor, or you guys were an old Godzilla movie. So we'll do that, and we'll do that, and we'll see if that helps or hurts it. Anakin says, woo!
Oh,
so
hello.
I didn't read it as loud as I normally scream at myself. But as you can see, our layout has changed because we did hit our Twitch follower goal, which we're very excited about. So thank you to everyone who's watching on Twitch, or
I can't believe we made it.
Watching on YouTube,
That's
or
cool.
wherever you might watch this video, who's already subscribed to us on Twitch, or I should say followed us on Twitch, because we did get to 100 followers, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And rather than encourage everyone to subscribe to us on Twitch now that we can say that, I know it's a difficult thing for some people because it's like $5 a month, but a lot of people are more comfortable with one-time donations. For the live viewers that are going to be tossing in donations, we now have a donation goal for the month of September. So we figured we'd toss up just $100 because that's a nice round number.
Yeah.
And then if we get to $100 for the month of September, we'll probably have a giveaway. We haven't exactly nailed down what we're going to give away, but we did have some ideas. I noticed a lot of people talk about their favorite episodes, which is still weird to me that we could have anything that you guys could be a favorite of.
Mm-hmm.
Hilariously, the Twitch stream is also 5 seconds faster than YouTube. It's live-er.
That's
hilarious.
Is the audio better?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
let me know if the audio's better or not, folks.
But my coworker actually just told me today that if you have Amazon Prime and you go watch Jack Ryan on Amazon and you have Twitch Prime, you'll actually get 400 free bits.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And 100 bits equals, the bits are basically like a penny. You have to pay more for them, like with Disney dollars. But if you give us 100 bits, that's like giving us $1.
$1.
Yeah. So anything helps. Anything you guys want to kick in. And one of the things that I really want to give away, because we have the scripts that we write out. Every episode.
We still have all the scripts that we used when
save
we
every
first
single
started.
one of them. Yeah.
So we were thinking we'll sign our actual scripts that we use to record the episodes.
Yeah, and send them along to you along with some, stickers or maybe some other merch as well.
And those are finite. So we only have the ones that we've printed out.
I mean, I have mine saved. I don't know if you saved your scripts.
But we're not going to print out a million just to give
Well,
away.
yeah, I'm just saying they're not exactly finite.
Right.
They're not going to expire is what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying those are going to be I'm not going to print out new ones to give out. This is going to be the ones we actually sat down, I scribbled on. It's going to be the actual ones we used for the episode, which would be really cool.
So whoever donates will probably be entered into the giveaway. and then we'll go ahead and just spin a wheel live on air like we normally do.
Yeah.
And this is only if we hit the $100 goal, though. If we don't hit the $100 goal, that would be super nice. We might do like a consolation giveaway for those of you who did donate. But I don't know. We'll see. We're just trying something new here, so we hope you guys enjoy it. That said, I hope the audio is better.
Yeah, it looks like it's better. Also, thank you. I feel pretty today. I did my makeup when I got home from work. So I don't go to work with makeup, which is sad. But I got home and did it and tried to fix my hair. And my hair looks absolutely atrocious today, but thank you.
I think it looks really good. I think you look really good.
I tried to curl it, and it's not working out, and it's really humid in here, and I look gross.
Miss, it's not that humid in here. We're in the desert, but it's hot in here for sure. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We did just get 100 bits from Miss Deezy, and she said, I'm guessing she because it says Ms. But episode 36, stop being a douche canoe, you penis leech. Now have a Werther's original had me dying. So I'm glad to hear that. That's good to know. It does not. You look adorable. See,
thank you.
Audio is definitely better. Okay, cool. Because what we wound up having to do before is I had to actually add a delay in from the microphone so that it would sync with the camera. And because you guys were saying that the audio wasn't working, I thought maybe because they finally updated OBS, maybe they fixed that problem, and I took off the audio delay entirely. I might still need to fine-tune it with like a 3 a.m. audio test that you guys hopefully don't have to fucking watch because it's just brutal.
It's so horrible.
But we'll see what happens with it.
Cool.
So, all right. Thank you guys so much for giving us the feedback. We really do appreciate that.
This has been a very helpful start.
Indeed, it has been.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm
going to start.
You were going to do a shout-out, right?
A shout-out?
You said you wanted to shout out to a certain person or certain people before the audio problem.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't remember this at all.
Okay.
Do you remember what I was going to say?
Nope.
'Cause I certainly don't.
All right.
I was saying shout out to all the people who are watching on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah,
okay.
and then I went back and said that already.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So I'm going to be the person who goes first. I'm going to start with this one, and it's called Bell Witch Theory.
Cool.
It starts this way.
I want to do the Bell Witch.
We've done the Bell Witch.
Oh, we have?
I've done the Bell Witch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this says, hey, y'all. This is Taylor, the kid who listens to the podcast when I road trip alone so I can see how terrified I get.
That's hilarious.
Hello, Taylor. I love you guys. Looks like crying emoji and heart emoji, which I don't know if those go well together, but I'll take it. Maybe it's happy tears.
Is it like... Oh, okay. No, it is sad face.
Anyways, okay. I re-listened to the Bell Witch episode again. It is my favorite. Her story used to be my favorite as a kid, and man, I have a theory. So for those of you who don't remember, the Bell Witch basically haunted a single family and then eventually like taunted like the father of the family until he died.
Yeah,
and then it was supposed to come back and haunt the kid too, the son.
Okay.
So the theory is, I'm pretty sure the son actually killed the dad. Like, it only makes sense. He grabbed the poison, killed the cat with it, in parentheses, fucking dick, just to see if, maybe this is poison. So it's like he's testing out the poison by killing the cat. And the witch was so elated that the father died and came back to speak to the son. So everyone was left assuming she's going to come back to fuck up little Bell Boy's life, but instead gives him insight to the world and existence and shit. What if they, like, made a deal? He helps kill dad, and the crazy witch woman helps him find the secret of life. It's been racking my brain since I got home. Anyway, y'all are the bomb. Keep on creeping on. That's a pretty interesting theory.
Yeah, that is an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Like,
you never know. This is some paranormal shit, and there could definitely be, like, actual murder at work when someone dies suddenly like that.
That's, wow.
There's a PS to this one as well. It says, P.S. My parents just divorced last year. That's a bummer.
That's really shitty.
Sometimes it's for the best, let's be real.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My dad moved to Michigan and bought a really nice new place. And this motherfucker showed me where I'd be staying when I visit.
Oh,
the
God, it's
goddamn basement bedroom in all caps. It's got a small black old wood burner down there. I think he basically told me he wanted Lucifer to drag me to hell when I visit him.
Oh,
all right,
God.
peace, love. It's a peace symbol and then a heart. So I'm guessing that's what they were trying to say.
Nice.
So that was really good. Thank you so much for sending that in. We appreciate it.
I would have never thought of that. I think that's really cool.
Which part? The part with the basement and the wood stove?
No,
the Bell Witch
murder,
theory.
yes.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I kind of had run through my head, but I'm like, I don't know the intricacies of this guy's life enough to know who would want to murder him. So, yeah, but yeah, when you're looking at something paranormal where someone winds up dying, that's definitely a possibility. So let's look over and slam into the desk.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's look over to the Twitch chat, the stream chat, drink, take a shot, and see what we got. 3 a.m. audio check to fuck with us. Ha ha ha. Oh, hey, I'm not super late, says Arias. What else? He said he was going to shout out me because I am awesome, says Momenti13.
That's hilarious.
Miss Deezy said Bell Witch is an episode I haven't made it to yet. Well, there's some spoilers in there for you, so sorry about that. Keb says hi. Hello, Keb.
Hello.
And Ulri says, like many episodes, I eat all is good. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So not a whole lot of chat on the first one, but that's okay. We totally understand.
Well, it just started.
I'm really hoping the audio has fixed itself because that really annoys me that this freaking update went through and screwed everything up. So
yeah, so hopefully it's good and you guys are all right.
I'll be able to check it out after the fact, which is always, of course, too late. But that's all right. You want to move on into the next one?
Yes. So the next one is going to be kind of personal because my cousin actually sent it to us. So
David, right?
My cousin David.
Oh,
yes.
Cool. Shout out to David. Thank you for sending this in.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and writing this epic email and sending it to us. So it goes, hello, cousin. Hello, cousin.
Do I get to say hi here? I'm not.
Oh yeah, you can
not
say
cousin
hi.
yet. Hello.
I've been meaning to write you for a while. Here are some of my scary-ish stories and my views on sleep paralysis.
Oh shit.
We haven't had sleep paralysis
in like 3 emails.
Yeah, well, not.
We get them all
emails,
the time. Is all I'm saying.
In a while, I think. So the first story goes, I sometimes get sleep paralysis too. However, I've noticed oftentimes it occurs when I've overslept. Overslept as in sleeping when I'm not supposed to be sleeping, like an extended nap or longer than an hour nap, sleeping in past noon, those types of things. When this happens, I just try really hard to wake myself up, whether it be by moving a limb or trying to roll over. I know if I make some sort of movement, I'll be able to wake up easier. Sometimes I also find it harder to breathe since I'm a mouth breather.
That's hilarious. Same.
Are you a mouth breather?
Yeah, I have a broken nose. Remember, like one of my septums is completely closed because of it. My nose has been broken like 6 times. So yeah.
I broke his nose one of those times,
yeah,
but technically he broke his own nose with my arm.
No, she walked into a room, saw me laying down sleeping, tapped her elbow twice, went, oh yeah, and then elbow dropped me from the 3rd buckle. It was really rough, and it broke my nose.
What reference is that?
It's a Macho Man Randy Savage reference.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that was his finisher, was the elbow drop.
Oh.
Yeah. Can't believe you don't know that.
No.
R.I.P. Macho Man Randy Savage.
You just taught me the other thing.
The Stone Cold Stunner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, because I stunned her.
Okay. If I know someone's near me, I'll sometimes try to snore louder so that they can wake me up. That's hilarious. I don't know how you could make yourself snore louder.
Actively snore louder?
Because, well, for me, when I have sleep paralysis, I can't do anything. And I'll look over, and I had it one time where my boyfriend was laying right there. And I really, really tried to wake him up. And I don't know if he was a dick or what, but he didn't wake up. And I was just stuck in this stupid night terror. It was horrible.
You did date some dicks, just saying.
They're all dicks, technically, because they're all dudes.
I guess that's true as well.
Okay. Need to date some chicks. All right. So, one time I tried this, and I was sleeping on the bed near Tanya, which is my other cousin. And when I woke up, she said, you must have been really tired. You were snoring a lot. I guess she didn't know. That's kind of fucking hilarious. There have been a couple of times I've been in this state where I don't even want to open my eyes because I'm afraid of what I'll see. I get that way all the time. Like, I'm afraid that if I'm sleeping under the blanket and if I lift that blanket up, I have this big fear that there's going to be a creepy figure or a dude or something just standing right there or with their face just looking at me.
Until we started the show, I never ever had the fear before that I would see something during sleep paralysis. Yeah. I just sort of had the fear that I was going to suffocate.
It was like it's so scary. In my head, I'm thinking there must be a reason why I'm half awake or something must have woken me up. There was one time I was sleeping upstairs in our game room and I opened my eyes and saw a purple blob. It was more like a purple shadow. Later that night, my mom was telling me that her friend passed away.
Wow.
And she said that she saw her friend walking around the house in her dream, her deceased friend. I told her about my incident, and she said her friend was wearing a purple dress.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
That's
oh my gosh,
super
that's crazy.
Creepy. I have cold chills or goosebumps or chicken skin or whatever you call them.
Yeah. I'm a rational and logical person with a science background. My theory is you're in this catatonic state because all of your blood has pooled and you've somehow cut off circulation to your limbs. That's why it's hard to move, same as when your foot or leg are asleep. In other words, you've been laying on your side or your back too long. That's a rational explanation to it. I would have never thought of that.
I usually only get sleep paralysis if I sleep on my back. Like, that's why I sleep on my side, or sometimes like all the way on my stomach.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever had sleep paralysis when I'm like laying in a different orientation than that. I've like laid kind of to the side on my back and gotten it.
Yeah.
But still, like, my neck is usually like propped up in some weird way where I feel like I must be cutting circulation off, or something like that could be happening. Or I don't know. It's so weird because it's so bizarre. It's like your brain like paralyzes your body so that you don't move during sleep, you know?
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with circulation. So it's always terrifying when you wake up and you're like, I can't breathe. I can't move. I'm going to fucking die.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, if you see demon-like shit, that's also terrifying. So
that's super freaking scary. I don't know. How do you explain seeing the purple thing though?
I don't.
That's just,
I can't.
How do you explain seeing stuff? Like, you can explain the not being able to move, but it's just like seeing things. How do you explain that? And I'm sure there's probably a scientist out there that's like, well, your brain waves do this or signals do that. And I don't want to see those things. So his second story happened at the Orchard Hotel in Singapore. And it goes, every time I travel, I usually book some sort of hotel chain like the Ritz or the Mandarin Oriental or the Hilton.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's bouge.
Bouge?
Especially if I'm out of the country. We booked like some random ghetto fucking hotel when we went to Japan.
No, it was nice.
It was nice. It wasn't ghetto, but it was like not a chain.
It was small,
not
yeah.
fancy.
But it was nice because it was like way downtown in the good area around like all of the popular stuff. So it was still kind of expensive. But it wasn't a piece of shit hotel. We didn't slum it while we were out there. We booked a cardboard box for $200 a night.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so it continues. While I was in Singapore, I figured I would try one of their luxury hotels since it was a tad bit cheaper. The Orchard Hotel was the one I chose. It had the best value and location. It was so close to everything and all the shops and located on Orchard Road, which is the prime spot for shopping. So I checked in at the hotel really excited about this stay. It wasn't expensive, but it also wasn't cheap. The lobby of the hotel looked very luxurious and the restaurant looked very high-end, as in I wouldn't be able to afford to eat there. That's crazy.
That's high-end.
Yeah. When I got to my room, I noticed something about it was off. It didn't have a welcoming feeling and it felt dark. I've never had this feeling before about a hotel room. There was also a strange stench. It smelled like curry or Indian spices. It sounds racist, but that's what it smelled like.
I don't think that's racist to say that. I think it's just very specific. That's what it smelled like.
I was so uncomfortable in that room, but being the passive person that I am, I decided to just suck it up. After all, it was my last night in Singapore. Okay, so luckily it was only one night stay.
Yeah, you only have to stay there one time.
It's not like you're stuck in that negativity. But what if shit went down?
Jesus, that was intense.
What if shit went down
keep going.
one night? Okay, so, sorry, I get really excited. I'm
the one drinking coffee too. That's the best part.
Well, I've been working all day and I'm kind of tired. Okay, so I casually laid on the bed and watched TV. I was about to doze off, but then I heard a ticking noise. Ugh. Okay. I had no idea where it was coming from, so I literally had to follow the sound all over the room. My ear led me to a wall lamp. What was weird was that the lamp was off. If it was on, I could see how there might be a sound from the static electricity or the current.
Yeah, just from the current going through it makes sense, but if it's off, that's weird though, because sometimes if it's something has a dimmer switch, like it could seem like it's almost completely off, but if it's like
not.
If the circuit's a little bit on, it'll make like a crackling noise. I used to have a light that did that in my bathroom.
Really?
So, yeah, it was fucking horrible.
That's
the bathroom.
You were talking
yeah,
about?
I mean
okay.
that was just something that always happened, but that also was like associated with that other story I talked about.
Oh, okay. So continuing. So I turned it on, hoping that there might be a sound. Hoping that the sound would stop. Whoops. But it didn't. So I turned it off. I began to notice how loud the TV was. I was like, there's no way I had the TV this loud while I was trying to sleep. I picked up the remote and tried to lower the volume, but nothing. I even tried to turn the channel and nothing happened too. In my head, I'm thinking, I just used the remote like 5 minutes ago. How could it not work? The volume is too loud. What do I fucking do? So I tried looking for the buttons on the TV, but this TV didn't have any buttons.
I hate that shit.
The hotel room TVs not having buttons?
Yeah, why would you ever build a TV that you couldn't control from the TV itself? Like, you either run out of batteries or the controller dies or there's a demon, and then you're stuck with a really loud TV.
It's just, what? Why? So I already knew there was something wrong in this room. I had goosebumps all over me. I would have booked it. I would have just been like,
I
I'm
don't know,
out.
though. You already
Sorry.
paid for the fucking room. Like, what are you going to do except ask to, like, change rooms? That's all you can really do.
Guess. I don't
it's like,
know.
hey, my room smells like food and my TV's really fucking loud. Give me a different room. Like, that's all you can really do. And you could run out of there like a crazy person, but then people are going to be like, what's wrong with that person?
That
and then
happens,
you're still out
though,
the money.
sometimes. Like, when I've, like, heard of different hotels where people have had haunting experiences, and then you get the story where it's like, in the middle of the night, they ran out of the hotel and checked out and didn't say anything. So, I mean, some people do it.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe it's different in a foreign country, though, like where you're
where
just
you don't know where you are,
and you don't speak the language.
I mean, maybe this. I don't know. You don't know that.
Maybe this is true.
Keep going.
Okay. But I lost my spot. Okay, so in the 5 minutes I'm trying to figure this out, I get a knock on my door. It's the manager asking if everything was all right. I told him, no, there's a strange sound and the remote isn't working on this TV. And right away, he knew it was the light. He said that he'd heard it before and that someone would be up to fix it and the remote in a while.
In a while. He comes to your door to ask you if something's wrong, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's the demon. We'll be up here in a minute.
How do they know?
They probably have had the same complaint.
It's just like, there's something wrong.
And they keep booking the room because it makes them money.
Well, I asked if I could switch rooms, and he agreed. I thought it was really strange that the hotel manager would even make a visit to the room because I've been to so many hotels, and not one of the managers have ever checked up on guests like that.
I've had noise complaints in hotels multiple times, and I've never had a manager come and check. Yeah,
well, okay, I know this is douchey to say, but we've had to call on people for making noise before, where their kids are running around and screaming at like 2 a.m, and no one ever fucking comes up. No one.
No, I think someone eventually came up and not. No. The parents came back.
Yeah.
And they stood outside. You could hear them like walk up talking, and then all of a sudden you just hear the kids like, rah! And they were just jumping on the fucking bed.
Well, and then you hear
what they were doing.
Screaming.
It was 2 beds in the other room, and they were just jumping on them and then across to the other one and back. And it was probably the best moment of their life. And then I called and I'm like, hey, those kids are having fun. Fuck them. That needs to stop. This is a place of misery, and they need to share that with me. And then no one came up to stop them. And then the parents came back, and they heard that shit going on. And like she said, the next thing you heard was the parents going in. They're like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And I was just sitting there like, yes, like end it for them.
Okay.
Then crying, and then finally sleep.
Okay, so...
Sorry, that was my own personal story about how I hate children's laughter, apparently.
So it continues. I could see them calling the room, but I've never had them call me either. I think he knew there was something wrong in that room. When I got to my new room, everything felt so much better. I have like chills because I don't ever want to experience that. It definitely was more inviting, and the air just felt cleaner. However, I was still afraid that whatever was in the last room
came with you.
Oh, yes, that's exactly what he said.
Yep.
I slept with the lights on that night.
That's creepy.
I would too. I can't. I'm just no. I would have just been like, not sleeping, watching TV. We're gonna stay up. You're gonna stay up. Fuck you.
You know what's funny is like I feel like everyone's seen a movie where there's a person that's a spirit or a ghost, and if you haven't, then you probably like this is probably a weird thing for you watching our podcast or listening to our podcast. But something like Ghost, think of like the training montage where you figure out how to move something, or Supernatural, same thing, and they even reference Ghost in that entire montage. Really? Imagine like you're a level 1 ghost and you just figured out how to move shit.
Yeah.
Someone like me, you're not gonna wake me up. I sleep so fucking deep. They're probably like
we can't wake you up inside.
They're probably like I hate you. They're probably like making weird like creepy noise like and like jiggling a door handle, and then there's just me on the bed like snoring like I'm gonna fucking die, and they're just like, oh, I hate this guy so much. And then they go and they get the demon to sit on my chest and give me sleep paralysis.
Ghosts do weird things around us all the time, but we're just like in our own shit to even notice. Like with cell phones and stuff now, what if we're all just like
looking down?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so they try to do stuff and we're just like
That's why they have evolved to stuff like Unfriended, where they learn they hack like Hugh Jackman and fucking Swordfish.
There's that new movie that's like Unfriended. Not the sequel to Unfriended, but there was like a new one that came out and it's on Netflix, and I don't know if I want to watch it or
What's
not.
it called?
Not Unfriended.
Okay, so it's called Not Unfriended, as opposed to the sequel to Unfriended, Unfriended, which is how you do it to someone a second time. It should just be called Blocked. There you go. Yeah. You're welcome, Hollywood. Figure it out.
Okay. So, I took pics of both rooms. You can definitely see a difference. When I got home the next day, I wrote a review and did some research.
You wrote the review like, first room haunted, 1 star.
I would too. I saw another review that said one of the rooms was haunted too. I looked.
What the fuck? That's super creepy.
I looked a while ago, but I don't see that particular review anymore. But there is a recent one about 2 years ago saying the same thing. So I'm going to click the rooms real quick and check. Okay. That's the first one. That's the second one. I think I definitely see a difference. Like, this
I don't see a difference, but I'm not really looking directly at it on the laptop, but it's hard for me to tell too.
It's just like one seems like heavier, like the air or the light is darker, and the other one just seems a lot brighter. So, and maybe that's just me, I don't know, but okay.
I might notice a difference if I was standing in them. It's hard for me to tell via picture though.
Yeah.
But I trust him, so.
So me and my uncle were talking about this a few weeks ago, and I agree with what he says. In Asian cultures, especially Asia, and I'm going to say yes because we have so much shit that happens there. It's insane. We often encounter ghosts and spirits because our culture is spiritual. We pray to our ancestors and relatives who have passed away consistently, and we keep in contact even after they've parted. You can even say we invite them to eat with us when we set up ceremonial dinners and light incense. That is totally true.
Yeah.
Even in a lot of Korean drama, if you guys watch, or it's just me, but they have their funeral rites and stuff like that. And in like Oh My Ghost, one of the more recent ones that I watched, she's a ghost, and in order for her to eat, she goes to funerals because these people set out food just for these ghosts to come and eat. So that's kind of a thing.
I know one of the first things you taught me when we started hanging out was like I was eating obviously more Asian food hanging out with you, and like I had kind of known that if you have a bowl of pretty much anything, you don't put your chopsticks like directly into it,
right?
Because that's how things are set up during a funeral, right?
Right.
As an offering to ghosts, so like it's inviting death almost. It's like a bad omen to do that when you're eating. And it's so funny whenever we go anywhere because I'll like notice people do it, and I'll be like, I feel like just walking over there and just pulling their fucking chopsticks
like,
out and just setting them down and just being like, come on, seriously, like, do you want ghosts? Because that's how you get ghosts. Like anytime someone tells you like this is something and it's real, and they're like, this is a bad omen, don't fucking do it, and it's something completely innocuous and you can entirely avoid it, just don't do it. It's that simple.
But yeah, I think it's really interesting, and it's totally true. Even on Chinese New Year's, my mom is making a feast for the ancestors to eat first, and then we'll eat it after, which is totally true. My family did this, yeah. And you like set up the whole table, and you make all these different dishes, and you set up plates of fruit, and you do all these different things. I think my parents even do like little glasses of beer.
Oh, that's cool.
So they'll set up little glasses of beer, and then they'll drink, and they'll eat it all afterwards.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean you don't want to get fucked up.
That's fucked.
But apparently accurate, just saying.
So what she does is she sets up a table with a few dinner settings, and the only way I can describe it is it looks as though invisible people are about to eat. You don't see these things in American culture.
You don't. You really don't.
Except some people, they set up a plate for Jesus on Christmas.
Do they? I think that's Santa that they're setting out
Santa?
cookies for. It's not Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah. You're mistaken on that.
My Asian ignorance.
Yeah, it's showing. Sorry about that.
So that's it. Heart, Cousin David. P.S. I finished the last episode and going back through episode 0. It plays in my car and I don't drive often, so it'll be a while before I get through all of them.
Right on.
Thank you for listening, though.
Yeah, we appreciate the support.
I can't believe that my family listens to it.
It's so cool. It's really cool. Like having strangers reach out is a completely different experience than having family reach out, but it's just really cool when you've been like we've done this like almost 70 times now. We've done an episode of Scarish almost 70 times. Which is awesome. And there's certain people that like when you're friends with someone on Facebook and you see them post stuff, you're just like, okay, cool. It's cool they're doing that. I don't have the time to check it out. And then the more people that have actually taken the time to check it out that like I personally know, like after last week's episode, like my best friends since 7th grade, I have 4 people that I consider like my best friends from when I grew up. And one of them started listening and he texted me like 2 days later, just like busting my balls, like your show is shit. I hate it. You suck.
No.
And then after that, he's like, seriously though, it's amazing. And I'm really proud of you. And like it's funny too because last episode we talked about hearing the phrase like I'm proud of you, how much it can affect someone, and getting that from like my best friend since we were 7. I was like, that really means a lot to me, and it makes me feel like we're doing something right. So
yeah, my
the
friend
support
Iris said the same thing.
Yeah, the
She
support
was
is
like,
really,
so
really
proud of
great.
you.
So
that's one of the most important sentences you could ever say
you have
to anybody.
no idea how important that sentence is until you've met someone who's never heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Just
that's incredibly important to tell someone, especially if it's true. It's like not just saying like, "Oh, I'm proud of you," just to say it. Like when you can actually say it and mean it to someone, like that'll change someone's life sometimes, man.
Yeah.
So.
My mom has never said, "I'm proud of you."
Give it time.
But my older sister has, and that felt like the world to me. So it's just like if you know someone who's having a really shitty day or someone who looks really down, sometimes like all they need to hear is like, "I'm proud of you and what you're doing," and just they need to pick me up. And just little things that you can do help people. It's amazing.
Every freaking little bit helps. And like you might feel sometimes like there's no one out there that likes you, or you don't know fucking anyone, but there's always I hate you so much. There's always one person out there. It might be more than one person who like you make their day better just by being in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could be someone that you see frequently, like at a restaurant or a fast food chain or like a grocery store. It doesn't matter. Like just by being polite or just by being the human being you are, like you might make someone's day, and you don't fucking ever know that. So hearing something like that just kind of makes you feel like, hey, like I don't suck. That's a really good feeling to feel sometimes, because I feel like a lot of people are like their harshest critic and they talk a lot of shit to themselves, and it's really just nice to know that that's not the case. Yeah. So it just always helps. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So
stream chat.
Yes.
There was a fuck. Okay, now that I've marked this, and we can do a sidebar here that's not going to make the episode, and it's just here for the people watching the stream. That was a fuck ton of chat just scrolling by, and like I don't know what the fuck you guys were talking about. I looked over at one point, and someone's talking about like falling into holes. It's like
what?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go through this shit. So let's start at the top.
I have where I'm at. It says the scripts that Adam ripped the staples out of. Still have those.
That's hilarious.
Last episode had me dying. What part? What, like the games part? That
maybe.
part? Maybe.
I think we're funny sometimes, and I think we're stupid the other time. So, Glitch Grim said, "Y'all need a hoodie with the new logo. I needs it. LOL." Yeah, we're gonna be talking with MDI Apparel Friday.
Yes.
To go over like kind of the numbers of the sales and stuff like that, and see like the feasibility of like a full store and what we can have. And Robin's been talking to some people that I shouldn't say some people, like manufacturers for certain things as well.
I've been talking to manufacturers in order to get stuff like tote bags made.
We had a request for tote bags yesterday or today.
But I was researching the tote bags like a couple days ago. So when I heard that, I was like, that's awesome. Like that totally makes me want to do that. And then hard enamel pins. I want to make some hard enamel pins. I'm thinking about doing a Kickstarter, but it's going to need a lot of help because shit's expensive. So I'm going to try and come up with a bunch of designs. And I also want to make new acrylic charms. So I'm going to do new acrylic charms. Thanks. And come up with a whole bunch of designs. I am working on the new emote for subscribers on Twitch.
It's been concepted. I've seen it, and it's fucking awesome, and we should have it up. When do you think? Next week? We got a really busy week.
Yeah, it'll be up next week because I have homework tonight that's due tomorrow, so I'm kind of like,
and then
kill me.
Thursday we have to record early because this entire weekend, Friday through Monday, we're going to be in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
JOL325 has followed, so thank you so much for following us, JOL325. We really appreciate it.
Oh, Miss Daisy also gave us more bits.
Really? Oh, yeah. They did it a second time. That's awesome. Miss Daisy gave us more
much.
bits. Oh, Miss Daisy gave us bits last show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I already read Miss Daisy's one from this show.
No, this one's 29 minutes ago.
Yeah, I read it out loud.
Oh.
That Stop Being a Douche Canoe, You Penis Leech, Now Have a Werther's Original Had Me Dying.
Oh.
Yeah, read that.
My brain.
This is my life,
my
folks.
Bad.
This is like 30 minutes later, she's an Etch-a-Sketch. And like, if it gets shaken, everything goes away. So sometimes you just have to repeat yourself. Anakin said, got a class this morning, and this is a great way to start the day. Ulrich did say, sorry
says
guys.
The audio's still off.
Audio's still off. I mean, there's just so much I can do without like having to stop and just keep changing stuff. I don't know if I'm making it worse or making it better. Just eating my dinner while catching y'all. Laura says, wait, morning? Where are you from?
That's hilarious.
YouTube chat. It's all chill. How's everyone doing? Okay, let's get to the bottom of this conversation about
what?
Someone says, Momenti says, never broken a bone in all 22 years of my life. 33, never broken a bone. I've broken my nose, which is cartilage, a lot. but I've never broken a bone.
Okay, and the honest story about me breaking his nose is I was sitting there, he was laying there with his face by my arm, and he decided to lift my arm up of his own volition and dropped my arm onto his face.
I held her arm up so I could like lay down because like, okay, this is what Robin is like. So if you're like positioning yourself to like lay down and there's a pillow and they just kind of have she has her arm there, I'll be like, can I like lay my head on that pillow? She'll be like, sure. And like sometimes she doesn't move it. So I'm like, all right, I'll move it myself. So I lifted her arm up, laid down, and then let her arm go after holding it for a while. And she didn't take control of her arm back. She just went, and there was a popping noise, which was my nose breaking. And I was like, I just sat there. I'm like, you just broke my nose. She's like, no, I didn't. And like 10 minutes later, I'm like, is there like a purple mark on my nose? She's like, yes. I'm like, yeah, that's the cartilage that's been broken. That means my nose is broken.
You did it to yourself, friend.
Whatever. Watching, listening to cool live stream and chatting with some cool people. Aw, that's
really
nice
that's
of you to say,
awesome.
Adam hit her with the what? Stone cold ref, LOL. Yeah, I stun her every now and then. Just because like she'll be leaning over and it's just perfect. I don't actually like drop to my butt and be like, no, I just pull her head down a little bit and just like make the sound like
super awkward.
It's hilarious.
Oh, it's not hilarious. It's not hilarious when it's happening.
It's hilarious. I actually broke a bone because someone fell on me, says Butter and Butt.
You can kill someone by falling on them.
My brother had his collarbone broken when he was in elementary school because some kid jumped on him. And like he went to the nurse's office and he was crying and they didn't send him to the hospital. They called my mom like, hey, you should come get him. He's being a baby. He won't stop crying. And my mom was like, my kid doesn't just sit around and fucking cry. There's something wrong. And then we took him to the hospital and it's like, oh, he has a broken bone. He has a broken collarbone. Like one of the most painful injuries because you can't fucking move anything with it.
Yeah.
It's like takes 6 pounds of pressure to break a collarbone, which is crazy. Glitchgrim broke both my ankles the same time, which was a fun day. Wow.
By walking into holes.
That's where this conversation came from.
Okay.
Walking holes suck. What the hell is a walking hole? I was just walking. Holes suck. Sorry. I hate work laptop. Half the buttons don't work. That's funny. Miss Deasy says, I can't stand the smell of Indian spices. I can because I think the food is absolutely fucking delicious.
Oh, wait. Is there already dinner made?
There is downstairs.
Oh, damn. Okay.
My friend fell into a 12-foot hole this past summer. He was fine, surprisingly. He said he lost consciousness for about 20 to 25 minutes. That's really bad for you. That's like 1 million dead brain cells.
What happened to you?
I hate you
all your
so
dead
much.
brain cells.
It's from having to listen to her.
Fuck you.
Ow!
That was an over-exaggeration. You drama queen.
Really? I'm pretty sure they heard the smack on the stream. I can't wait to stream to the bottom so everyone's like, that was hard. Like someone call I don't know. Is there a hotline to call?
Ulrich says to look where you're going, and Momenta is like, either that or just never leave my house.
I love that Robin goes into beatbox mode when she starts messing up words. LOL. Happens all the fucking time.
I can't help it.
Ulrich's response to the hotel story. The hotel didn't have an exorcist on site.
That's hilarious. Miss Deasy, I had fun once, but it was awful.
Miss Deasy also says Unfriendered. That's a good name. Favorite sequel, The Return of Revenge with the Vengeance. That's really fucking good.
Ulrich, that's some German conjugation shit.
Momenti, I'm Filipino. We either eat with our hands or spoon and fork like, so I can't relate. Liam says, I love the Queen Mary story from last episode. Thank you.
That was a good story.
I was really hesitant to do it because I am super skeptical on it. So that's good to know. Philo repping. It's hilarious. Butternut, hold up a sec. Are you not meant to leave the chopsticks on the side? You can put them on the side.
You can put them on the side.
You don't
stab them in the top.
Yeah. So as an example,
like if you go to Japan,
if these are your chopsticks, like, and you have rice or just noodles or anything, you don't put it into the bowl like that. I know that looks like sex, but you don't stick them standing up. You don't do this. You definitely don't want to do this either. With that going on, that's just inviting bad things into the world.
Yeah. So if you go to Japan, they usually have these tiny little dishes that you will lay the tip of your chopsticks on. So like there's a dish and then you would put your chopsticks like this on the dish and they'd just sit on the next to your thing. Or like if you've ever been to a sushi restaurant and you'll see a lot of people like folding up their little chopstick wrapper and put their chopstick on it. So it's just you lay them next to it or you lay them across the top. Straight across the top.
That's what I typically do. And even that's a little bit too much. Like I don't want people to see me do that. So I try and put it next to it if I can.
But yeah, I don't never stick it straight in.
Momenti says, I mean, I still know how to use chopsticks just so I don't get my Asian card revoked. But if I could eat with my hands in public, I would. Yeah, there's a couple of times where I just decide to go straight savage and I just start eating with my hands.
Well, like, there are some restaurants that I go to, like Vietnamese restaurants, where you have, like, the lettuce and you have all the meat and toppings and stuff. And sometimes, because I'm used to it growing up, where I'm just like, take this shrimp and take this and just shove it in there and then shove it in my mouth. But in public, I feel like I need to use chopsticks to pick the stuff up, or I'm a savage.
You are a savage.
Fuck you.
Laura from YouTube says, speaking of bad omens, I've been hearing owls screech every night when I go outside to smoke, not freaking out about La Lucchesa at all.
That's hilarious.
That's also kind of terrifying. Just don't have a argument with your spouse, because I think they carry you off if you run out of the house, right? That's La Lucchesa?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Same here. Parents never really said that to me. Yeah, it's rough when you grow up and parents don't say I'm proud of you. My parents never really said it, but they tell me like not I'm proud of you, but they'd let me know like I'm doing a good job. You know, my parents were very encouraging actually. So big shout out to my parents. Like my mom fucking edits the emails for these episodes because she appreciates like the fact that we're doing this and she wants us to succeed. So that's a good sign of like the brand of parents that I have.
My parents
very,
don't
very
listen
fortunate.
or watch. I don't think they know that I'm on YouTube. So fuck them.
There are worse sites to be on.
And then Ulrich says Chicago is my hometown.
Woot woot. Me too.
We're gonna be in Chicago town area.
Chicago town area.
Chicagoland. Fuck you. I don't care. Ha ha ha.
Nate and C. So you punch him. LOLs. That's when I was struck. Butter and Butt says Jesus. Yeah, they could clearly hear the strike. Anakin says almost 21 still in one piece. Thankfully. Miss Deezy says Child Protection Services. Nathan says, wow, that was loud. Miss Deezy says, I've been to the Queen Mary tour. I had an experience.
You did?
Miss Deezy also says just the tip. That's fucking hilarious.
I want to know.
Hey, Robin, we jungle Asians got to deal with the struggle.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like,
so
parents,
funny.
I don't even know. Get your shit together. Like, come on. Your kids are people too.
That's so good. It's a lot of chat, and I appreciate every
really
single fucking bit of it. I really want to fix this audio, but I know I can't. It's like when you're in a band or when you're a performer with a guitar, if you start and your guitar's out of tune, they tell you, like, just fucking keep going. You can't stop to fix your guitar. You can't stop to tune it. I've only ever seen one person do it. It's my friend Garrett. I love him. And, like, while he was doing it, he was live on stage. It was just him and his guitar. He was singing a song to his girlfriend. He got, like, a third of the way in the song. He's like, hey, hang on. And he started tuning his guitar in front of the whole audience.
Oh, no.
And then my other friend in the audience is like, just play the fucking song. And like everyone started laughing. And Garrett like got flustered because we always bust his balls, and that person in particular. So Garrett was just like, oh, God damn it, with a microphone in front of him and it was like a talent show or something like that.
Oh,
so when he said that, everyone started laughing. It was the best exchange I've ever seen in my life.
That's so funny.
And then he kept going and he played the whole song, and it actually worked out kind of well.
I think it's funny. Chicagoland is not Chicago.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm from like, this is the best part. I'm from Northwest Indiana. So if you talk to someone that's from Chicago, like, you're not from Chicago. And it's like weird because like East Chicago, like the name of the city, East Chicago, is in fucking Indiana. And they still don't consider it Chicago.
We're literally flying into Chicago. So.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be there.
Cool. So hoping the plane doesn't crash. But if it does, we'll probably get really famous. Yeah, you guys should be like.
No, we won't.
If the plane crashes, be like, oh my God, this podcast I used to listen to is gone because these two people died. Then when we're going down, I can be like, at least some more people listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Before I die.
Spread our name when we die.
If, not when.
Oh.
What's wrong with you?
Fuck. Okay, fine. If we die. All right. So I'm going to go into my second email here now.
Is it my turn? I'm pretty sure it's my turn.
Oh.
Yeah. Turn stealer.
Okie dokie.
So this one is called Haunted House because there's a question mark on it.
All right.
And it starts, oh, hi there again. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Before I get into my story, let me just say that Adam, for years I have been a View Askew fan. For those of you who don't know, View Askew is the production company from Kevin Smith, the guy who did Clerks and Dogma and all that. Okay. And have never seen the alternate ending to Clerks. After the episode you talked about Dante getting shot, I watched it and was forever changed. It really just completely changes the whole goddamn movie when you see the alternate ending. And you understand, like, when they showed it at Sundance, pretty sure it was Sundance, they had that ending on the movie and it just fucking blew people's minds. So since you have changed that for me, allow me to tell you that otters... What?
I want to know what he's going to say.
You want to know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me mark that. Allow me to tell you that otters are the most savage, evil animals in the world. In parentheses, if you research their sick ways, do not show Robin for fear that it might break her pure heart.
No, why?
That being said, I would absolutely love if you made a movie podcast. Cool. I really want to do that. I think about it every day.
You need a co-host though.
Yeah, I got to figure out a format and then figure out who would work best as a co-host for that.
Not me.
And go from there. You don't watch movies unless
I watch movies.
She watches completely different stuff than me.
Korean
and the only format
Japanese
that really makes
movies.
sense is for like, I don't know, us to pick one movie and watch it together and then talk about it. But I feel like you'd be like, I don't remember a whole lot. I was playing Animal Crossing on my phone when we were watching it. So, and there's so many movie podcasts just like that. So I want to have like an original thing. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll go from here. I don't know. Whatever. Where am I? Should I keep going? I'm going to keep going.
I'm Robin. You're Adam.
Safe place.
This is the podcast.
So on to the story. A few years ago, I was playing video games at my ex-boyfriend's house. That's a bummer for him.
Yeah.
I received a call from my 18-year-old brother panicking. He told me he had woken up and felt that our house was possessed. When I asked why, he began telling me that the mirrors on the walls were shaking and there was screaming coming from the hallway.
Fuck that. No, there wasn't.
He then said he went outside and he started begging for me to come home. I gathered my things and we raced over. My ex the entire time was extremely skeptical, saying, I don't know. If your house is possessed, what are you supposed to do? That's my skeptical boyfriend voice, by the way.
There's a reason why it's X.
Right. I had no response, of course, because what the fuck was I really supposed to do? When we finally got home to see my front door wide open and all the lights on. As I got into the house, I saw my mom's ex-boyfriend on a ladder and my brother pacing. I asked him what was going on, to which he replied, my bad, it was just the fire alarm.
Oh my god!
The next line.
Are you kidding me?
The next sentence is just one word. Dumbass. That's so good. Present day, I actually think my house might be haunted. Some nights, my roommate and I will hear something that sounds like a body being dragged coming from my attic. Of course, the door to the attic happens to be in my closet.
What does a body being dragged sound like?
I don't know. We got to check this out, though, so we'll run some sound tests.
I'm not dragging you. You can drag me.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Body being dragged, blah, blah. Of course, the door to the attic happens to be in my closet, and every night my dog goes in there and stares at the ceiling. For the sake of my sanity, I've told myself that it was most definitely large squirrels.
That's the worst.
When I lived in Chicago, I had obviously it's really rough winters, and I had a really crappy apartment. It was always cold. It was perfect for me because I love it cold. But there obviously was a gap somewhere that allowed either like a squirrel or a raccoon to make its way into my attic, and they scratch. And whatever it was also got into the fucking walls. And this is the same apartment where all this crazy shit happened too. So like, if I was a less rational person, I probably would have been like, this house is fucking haunted, because I had like an actual paranormal experience, and then I had scratching in the walls and scratching on the ceiling. But I was like 100% sure something was very cold and didn't want to die, and found out that my house was kind of warm. So I was like, look, if this thing can just be fucking quiet, I'm totally fine with it staying up there. So I decided it was raccoon, and I named it Rocky. So I was like,
Did Rocky die?
I don't know. Rocky stopped scratching, and there was no smell, which typically means that he didn't die.
Okay.
Because it definitely would have stunk.
Okay.
So sometimes that shit just happens. So it's good to tell yourself it's probably an animal first.
Okay.
So a month ago, I was laying in bed with my dogs, and I heard one of their squeaky toys making noise in the hallway. What the absolute fuck? So I shut the door and ignored it. Either way, I seem to make every excuse to ignore the random weird things occurring.
Okay.
My roommate even has a strict, quote, no creepy shit policy.
Oh, gosh.
Every time I want to tell her about what I've noticed.
Oh.
30-year-olds ignoring our problems. LOL. That's what 30-year-olds do. Anyways, hope my little story was the opposite of boring, and I have included both my demon dogs for you two to stare at. Thank you guys, and I appreciate how you both somehow make creepy things hilarious, L.
Thank you so much, Al. That's
Thank
hilarious.
You. It was really, really good. And the pictures of these doggos
look at they're so cute.
are so fucking cute.
They look so happy.
I don't know what breed this is. It kind of looks
like a Shiba.
It kind of does, but I don't think it is a Shiba exactly, but it's just smiling. It almost looks stoned, like kind of closed eyes, huge smile. And then it looks like a Yorkie as well. With it's so cute, and it's so small, and it has its tongue just hanging out.
Yorkies are some of the cutest dogs because I feel like they just don't know how to keep their tongues in their mouth. So it's just like always these tiny little tongues just sticking out. I don't know. They're really cute.
Cool. So let's move over to Stream Chat for a little while and see what happened while we were reading that. And by we, I mean I. Holy cow, the state of Chicago. That stuff we all saw. Miss Deezy, we'll set up a memorial now. Miss Deezy, do you think we can get a deal if it's 2 for 1? Miss Deezy, I think I can haggle a deal. Anakin would 100% support the movie podcast. I gotta figure something out. I have so much stupid shit to talk about. It's like I daydream about all this random useless knowledge in my head, like going on Jeopardy and just dominating the movie category and then like losing all the other categories.
I was gonna say like
should have named it Rocket. This is before Guardians of the Galaxy, and I didn't read Marvel. So Rocky Raccoon is a song from the Beatles. And I fucking love that song. If it smells like Indian spices, it's probably
so
dead.
mean.
That is super mean.
Oh my goodness.
Liam says, I want a dog so bad. I had to read it like it said it.
Okay.
I love having dogs. Like we
Dogs
talk about it
are
a lot.
amazing.
Like having our dogs around, like sometimes they can be a pain in the butt. But there's so many times where I just look at them like, I'm so glad I get to take care of this thing for its entire life.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that thing will know nothing but love, unconditional love, and stupid games and fun and happiness for like 100% of its existence. I'm so happy I get to do that.
Technically not 100% because
I'm
you
talking
could
about
die before they die.
Talking about Nymeria. Wait, what?
We could die before they die.
Yeah, that's totally true. If we crash, who knows? The dogs probably will be really sad for like a week or two.
Yeah.
Until they find a new owner. Because they're adorable, and they will totally find a new owner.
Oh, they'll find new owners. Nymeria has no loyalties whatsoever.
No, she doesn't. Like it would be like
her loyalty is to food. That's her true name, is the crinkling of like a chip bag.
You always hear like, if you died, this is how long it would take for a pet to eat you.
Nymeria
if you
would eat
fell
you.
asleep for longer than 8 hours, that dog will start eating
Yeah.
you. She barks in your face to check and see if you're dead or not. Because
Yep.
that's really her just being like, can I eat you? And you'll wake up and be like, fuck off, dog. And if you don't do that, she'll probably start to mow down. So,
Gross.
good to know.
Yep. This has gone in a really weird direction. Okay. So, my turn, right?
Sure, go for it.
I'm not stealing turns. So, this story is from Wahib on Facebook. I don't know.
Cool.
WAHIB. I don't even know how to read. Sorry.
It's a solid attempt at pronunciation at the very least.
This story is about my friend lip syncing a song. She sang a song in her house with the windows open. She lived on the second floor, and outside her window was a huge mango tree.
So your neighbors from downstairs climbed up the mango tree and threw shit at her? I see where you're going with this.
He's rude.
No, I'm just saying, who sings with the window open if you have neighbors?
What if she's good at singing?
That's true. If she is good at singing, never mind. I'll go back. She's lip syncing though, so it's gonna sound like just someone playing really loud music.
Okay, so
we'll get back to it. My bad.
The song she was singing had the lyrics, "Whatever I have is yours to take, as is my heart is yours to break." In my language translated to English.
Okay.
Okay. So she was recording herself while singing it. When she reviewed the video, I don't want to read it again. Okay.
Oh God.
When she reviewed the video, behind her the window widened and an arm appeared and caressed her cheek. You're shitting me. The arm was far too long to belong to a human.
I touched her face for those of you listening.
Oh my God. And after she showed the video to us, the laptop stopped working. Ever since then, we've been careful what we say at night, lest we invite any demons in the dark.
Probably a smart idea.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You okay?
No, it's like creepy.
Sorry for touching your face during that.
Okay, so.
It was super cold like a corpse, though.
Fuck you.
Is there something you need to tell me?
So, my
Two hits.
grandmother often sees things that we can't see. The place we live is prone to blackouts, so when the lights flicker, we aren't alarmed. I was busy playing games on my laptop when the lights flickered. I wasn't alarmed until my grandmother walked into my room and said to me, "I know you have a friend with you."
Read that again for those of you who can't hear through the shrill Fran Drescher tone you just put on.
She said to me, "I know you have a friend with you."
That's creepy.
At the time, I was confused and asked what she meant. She looked at me and smiled and said, "Don't be afraid, they won't harm you." Then she said out loud, I have like chills all over. Then she said out loud, "Spirits, please don't harm my grandson. He's young and loud. Leave him be." She said all this while walking towards my window and shutting it. She laughed and called me down to eat. I'm just like...
This is why you don't leave your windows open. Like,
Oh
how
my
every time I
God.
say, like, I prefer the fan being on, the whole team fan controversy, it's like, just open a window. It's like, I guess in this case, probably shouldn't, huh?
I accept that.
Okay, good. That's why we will always keep the fan on, is to keep the demons out.
The thing is, my window was locked and I had lost the key long ago. Fuck.
That's even worse.
Holy shit.
So the window had always been closed and there was no key to open it.
Oh my
and
gosh.
this window's just randomly open during a fucking blackout.
After that, the lights stayed on for months without flickering. Either my grandmother is a spirit master or an expert electrician.
That's a good skill to have, actually. Can someone please talk to the spirits in my bedroom, because that stupid goddamn light never fucking comes on right. I think it was installed incorrectly. And I don't like to fuck around with electrical because I know I'll get electrocuted. So.
I can't.
You okay?
Why did you give me that one?
That was a short one. We go by we pick like the most recent, like 7 to 8 or however long we think they're going to be. However many we need, I should say. And then we'll go in order of length. So we'll do a long, a short, or like a short, medium, short. That's it, That's all we do. So I picked a short one for you to have. You're welcome. That was a good one. That was really good.
Very good.
That's a perfect example how something short and concise can still be really scary, because she probably peed herself. We're going to have to check after this is over. This is why she wears diapers when we do the show.
Okay.
You okay?
Yep. Okay.
All right, let's check out the Twitch chat, stream chat. Fuck, I do it every time.
Yes, everyone. That story. So scary.
Miss Deezy says, I have a bunch of useless movie knowledge. And Ulrich says, #co-host ? Who knows? Butter and Butt says, that's not okay in all caps. Glitch Grim says, oh my god, haha. Ulrich says, oh hell no. That's just how I read that.
Okay.
Butter and Butt says, N-O. Glitch Grim says, poor Robin. That was great to see with the sync issue, LMAO.
I need to know how far off our voices are.
Here's what I want to know. Is the audio coming in first, or is the thing coming in first? So did you see her jump, or did you hear her jump first? Because then I can actually try and make an adjustment. You guys should do an episode about black magic. That's a really, really good suggestion, actually. Tells Ghost to leave, laughs, says, come eat. That's just a grandma for it, I swear. Butter and Butt, haha, sup, Ghost? You guys are great. Hang out with this bro. He's chill. You want dinner, too?
Oh, my
God.
God.
So fucking funny.
Tells Ghost to leave, laughs, and says, come eat.
Audio first. Okay, that's interesting to know. That's why it was so off when we started, was because the audio was delayed.
Oh, okay. So that's probably why it's hilarious, because it's you hear the squealing and then you're like, wait, what?
Yes, that definitely makes sense. You can keep reading. I'm trying to adjust the audio right now. This is horrible radio.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. So a lot of people said audio first. Okay. I was like, wait, Glitch Grim says video first, but it's audio
first.
It's audio first.
So the audio's coming in, then the video's coming in, which means the audio needs to be delayed. So let me just try and do that for you guys really fast. We're going to do 2 seconds. We're going to offset it by 2 seconds and just see what happens. So the audio's going to come in on a 2-second delay. So now let me know. I hate that I'm doing this right now. I shouldn't be doing this to you guys. We're just going to give it one try and then see which way we adjust it. Okay, let us know now if the audio's still first or if the video's still first. I think that's just about everything that we had in the chat before we jumped into technical difficulties.
So now it's just technical difficulties.
I hate doing technical difficulties live on air. I just told that story and was talking about how Garrett's a stupid fucking asshole. That's it. Start over. Do the whole thing again. Good call.
Wait, does that mean it's good?
No, I think she's saying because I am doing the troubleshooting, we need to completely start over. Ulrich says good. Liam says it's fixed. Just so you know, before this fucking update went through, 1 second was the delay. I get an update right before the show starts, and all of a sudden it's 2-second delay now. So I don't know what the fuck they changed, but 2 seconds was the magic number. I'm so glad that worked.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? Sometimes it just works, man. Sometimes you got to troubleshoot in the middle of a show.
Nice. Okay.
So
it's all fixed.
I think it's me, right?
It is you.
Okay.
Yes.
So we got an email that I read during the most recent episode, the most recent topic episode.
Wait.
What?
So Mementa is the only thing that's delayed is my satisfaction.
That's hilarious. It's called edging. Don't
don't
look at me
bring
like that.
Stuff.
It's so fucking
why
funny,
do you gotta
though.
be that way?
Why you gotta be so rude? So I started reading one during the last episode, I'm pretty sure, called Homegrown Horror plus Cat Photos. And there was multiple ones. We started with the Haunting of Me longer edition, ? And they're saying that they've been followed around by a spirit their entire life.
Okay.
So we're going to move on to the next part, actually just the rest of their email. And it says international or intergenerational ghost. So this one is shorter, in parentheses, most will be now. As I somewhat touched on above, my mom was having a hard time when I was around 4. She and my dad were getting a really rough divorce, so she would take me sometimes and go to the cemetery to just sit and think and talk with her brother.
What?
Uncle Tom was the name of the ghost he talks to.
Okay.
And that was the first one. So she's sitting at her brother's grave with her son, talking to her brother, which is Uncle Tom. Along with other family members. I would always go off and play with this little girl. Oh, fuck. I don't like where this is going. She was about my age, so we didn't stray far from my mom and the family plot. She would be there every time I went near these 2 gravestones with a little lamb laying on top of one. It wasn't until I was older. It's probably like the headstone. He was going near this headstone that had a little lamb on it. It wasn't until I was older that I realized that the girl wasn't really there. My mother let me play with a ghost girl. Wow.
That's incredible.
It's so hard, though, because if you're a parent, is it a kid's overactive imagination where they have an imaginary friend, or are they seeing a fucking ghost? Or is it both? Even more creepy. There you go. For those of you who have kids with imaginary friends, they're actually ghosts.
Oh, don't even. I am so sorry. Like, if...
You're so sorry to Janet because I just said that Ryan is hanging out with like a full-grown adult ghost. I can't remember the name of her imaginary friend. Anyways, let's get back to it. Even more creepy, my mom remembers playing with the girl when my mom was little too. There's no way of knowing the girl's name since she is from the early 1900s and the grave is pretty worn.
I thought you were gonna say warm. I was like, that's weird.
It's worn, WORN, but it's spelled the other way. So it comes out the same way, but when I read it, that's why I read it that way. But her and her baby siblings' graves are just a few yards from my family's, and I make it a point to bring her and her siblings flowers whenever we are visiting and giving my family flowers. That is super nice.
That is really nice.
I want her to know she is loved and remembered, even if I'm too grown and she doesn't want me to see her. That's just super, super sweet.
That's super sweet. That's also really sad.
It is. Yeah. I've gone to my grandfather's grave before and found it completely cleaned with fresh flowers, and they weren't from my family. So it was really nice to see that. It's kind of heartwarming to know that, like, someone still out there is, like, probably tending to the graves, which is normal, but someone bringing flowers and you don't really know it's who. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So this is, I believe, the last part of the email. It's a little bit longer, and it's titled "Apartment No Thanks."
Okay.
I'm going to start this out with, if I could, I would nope the fuck out of my current living situation because of the ghost in my apartment. I know I put this on the Discord, but wanted to share it with everyone. Cool. So
okay.
I don't think I've read this.
Someone said that they feel like they've heard it before. That might be why, if it was posted on the Discord.
Okay, cool. Good to know. As far as when stuff comes in the homegrown horror topic in the Discord, I think typically Robin will read them, which is cool because, as I said earlier in the show, she is an Etch-a-Sketch, and things will just leave her brain sometimes. Yeah. So I can read them on air, and they'll be new to me, and they'll be like new to her. So that's a good thing. So don't be afraid to share on there. Don't say sorry. It's totally okay. It's just you. It's the majesty of you. So this apartment has had a bad vibe since me and my friends have moved into it. I don't know what caused it, but dude, it's bad. Anyway, I've been having trouble sleeping for a while, so it's not usual for me to wake up in the night or something. What is unusual is last week I was awoken at like 2 a.m. to something holding me down. Not sleep paralysis, but more like my arm has something pushing against it so I can't move. And something was forcing my mouth open. This is getting really fucking creepy.
This is really creepy.
I would freak out. Just the idea of anyone trying to insert something into my mouth, and I don't mean that in like a weird or creepy sexual way. I mean like just like if your mouth is being forced open, that's fucking terrifying. I almost drowned when I was a kid. So like that's the first thing that came to my mind is that sensation of not being able to breathe. I'm horrified of suffocating as like a way of dying. I opened my eyes and saw nothing. Finally, I forced my mouth shut and fell back asleep, only to be woken up 15 minutes later to it doing the same goddamn thing. How could you fall asleep again after that? I'd be fucking wide awake walking around that house.
This does sound familiar, though.
Does it?
Yes.
Is it because you read it on Discord, or is it because you might have heard it somewhere else?
We might have already read it.
I don't remember this. I would definitely remember reading this on the show. Cut to the next day, and I'm telling my roommate about this, and she tells me that she and our third roommate were sitting talking the night before, and roommate 3's water glass tipped slightly on its own. Not enough force to actually do something, before just shattering a second later. It was so scary that we bought smudge spray and lit a whole ass candle to clean the place out. So far, so good. I've never heard of either of those things. I mean, I've heard of burning candles.
I think smudge is kind of like sage, maybe.
That may be. I don't know.
Because when you're saging a place, you're smudging it.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
I've heard of saging a place before, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, cool. So we'll finish this out. One last thing before I let you go. Robin, most cold places have basements in the U.S. because of the frost line. This is true. You have to have your foundation under the frost line, which ranges where you go, but it gets deeper the further north you go. So architects use it as a free space when the frost line is lower than like 5 feet, because then they don't need like a split level or for some BS reason. I don't know. I almost failed my architecture class, but I do remember the frost level stuff.
That's cool.
I know for a
know
fact that like you have to be below the frost line back in Chicago because
What
you have
is
to have a
that?
sump pump. It's where the ground will freeze to. Like when it gets really cold, like all the moisture in the ground will freeze. The ground will be completely frozen, but when you get further down, like it's not frozen. So like in our basement was really deep. There was a sump pump because if your sump pump's too high, your sump pump will freeze too. A sump pump is basically just a hole in your basement that will fill with water, and then there's a pump in it that like pumps it back out. So if your sump pump fails when it's raining, or if the ground starts to thaw and all that water's melting, like your sump pump will like kick into action. But if you never live somewhere with a basement, like you don't understand what a sump pump is, and it's really hard for me to explain it.
I work with water. I know what a sump pump is.
Okay, cool. I'm glad.
So
when I moved out here, the first girl I dated didn't know like that basements existed in like places, and also had no idea what a sump pump. When I said that, they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "It's the hole in the basement that you piss in when you're drunk." Because I mean, that's what it was for me and my friends.
I work with like water, sewer type stuff, and sump pumps are everywhere in our sewer system.
Cool. I mean, it makes sense. So,
yeah.
Whatever. Let's get back to this. I don't know. I almost failed my architecture class, but I do remember the frost level stuff. I already read that. I know that doesn't help, but some basements are sweet. SUITE. And then in parentheses, haha, puns. Good luck with that one on the podcast. Anyway, attached are photos of my omen babies, my 2 cats, Bing, in parentheses, screaming cat tree fiend, or friend, and Abby, goddess of goodnight, and my 2 dogs, Ricky, pronounced Ricky, a.k.a. guard dog, and Maggie, a.k.a. I had to fight my dad to name our black lab Maggie and not Jaguar because of the car. We'll keep on creeping
Jaguar.
on. I hate you. Don't get too spooked, and best of luck with the job stuff, Adam. Your spooky friend, Beck. P.S. I'm the person who thought you were talking about me in the BEC episode.
Aww,
that makes sense because
awesome.
The Black Eyed Children episode, which I almost didn't do also, but I did it because of request. Like people always like mention to me like that episode fucked me up, bro.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to go out of my comfort zone and do stuff that I don't necessarily believe as much because it seems to really scare the shit out of people, which I kind of like doing. So
nice.
It's a really good email. Thank you for sending that in. We really appreciate it, Beck. So quick break to check out the stream chat. I think is in order. Scrolling up. Fun.
That thing Momentai said with the only thing that's going to be delayed is my satisfaction is the greatest thing. I love
Iris is watching us on YouTube.
What?
Shout out to Iris. You can't see it because I have restream chat up. Looks
thank you.
A little more sync here on Tube. By the by, hi guys.
Hello,
hi Iris. Ulrich says you can't get no
satisfaction.
LMAO. Oh my God, Adam Y. Adam, you dirty. What did I say?
You said edging.
Oh yeah, that makes sense now.
God damn it.
Have to keep up going by 1 second each update. This is a lot less scary while I play WoW, says Miss Deezy. Man.
Dude, we've been watching World of Peacecraft, and that shit is hilarious.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of World of Peacecraft. Okay, and I don't know how many of you guys watch or heard of any of this shit. There's a guy at Polygon named Griffin McElroy. Griffin McElroy, pretty sure is a founder of Polygon. And he has a show called World of Peacecraft where he makes a character where he's going to try and do all these ridiculous things while not killing literally anything the entire fucking time. And it's hilarious. He's also the DM, the Dungeon Master from Adventure Zone. And he's one of the guys on My Brother, and Me, which are 2 of my favorite podcasts ever. So, yeah, if you get a chance and you're a fan of WoW, check out World of Peacecraft.
It's hilarious. I at first I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then he just does this stupid crap that World of Warcraft is so incredibly immersive and you can do so much in it that it's just like incredible.
Butter and Butt says, at least the girl is nice. Ulrich says, headstones with lambs mean dead child. I've heard that before too.
Really?
Yeah, and sometimes a lamb on a headstone means that their name is Agnes because Agnes means Lamb of God. Pretty sure that's what Agnes translates to. Yeah, that's what that name means. Yeah, so.
Oh my gosh.
Few things. Anakin having a real deja vu moment. Feels like I've heard this story before. Haha. Maybe it's because you read it on the Discord. Maybe it's because they stole it.
No, but they said it's from Spotify, that they've heard it on Spotify. I don't know. We read so many, and it gets a little hard to.
I don't remember reading this one, so maybe it got sent into another paranormal podcast, or maybe it's been jacked from somewhere else. It's hard to tell. I know we haven't read it because I would remember someone jamming something into the fucking mouth because that just fills me with fucking anxiety. Get out of here. I hate you so much. Okay. You have no idea how much she puts her fucking hands in my face. Like, not just when we're recording, but at all times. It's so annoying, dude.
Okay.
At least the little girl. Did I say that one? At least the little girl is nice.
Yeah.
It's very true.
damn, your ghosts are bad. Mine only play with bottles and peek out at me. Stupid shadows.
Momenti. Honestly, I've always wanted a basement. I really liked my basement growing up. I hate the idea that there's spiders in it, but like
what if bad things just
it's a room that's always cold, which for me is like right up there on like my favorite things. And it's big. It's a fucking open area.
Not all of them are big.
Some of them are big. They're usually the size of like the floor plan. So like my basement growing up is like, oh, we got a new couch. Put the old couch in the basement.
My older sister sends her 4-year-old kid to time out by sending her to the basement.
That is, the best time out. It's like, okay, go down there. Okay, now sit in the pentagram and turn off the lights.
Fuck
you can come up when you've learned a lesson.
No. I never had, Glitch says he wants a basement too, but in Texas they only have tornado shelters. I've never had a basement when I lived there.
That's interesting.
So, and there would be tornadoes like right down the street.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it's
Momenti
just
says
crazy.
Adam Robin is smarter than your ex. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
My ex was a teacher too, so what does that say about how doomed our youth is?
I think, what's funny is like a lot of people that I know just don't try. Even though, I mean,
What are you talking about?
Well, like a lot of people I know, they don't try. Like I don't try in a lot of my classes, and that's why I don't do as well as I should.
This is good to know, because we're paying for these.
Yeah. Because I just get distracted, and I think it's not that our teachers are horrible or anything. I just think some people don't try as hard.
The thing that hurts me the most is when someone really tries and they have a teacher that just doesn't give a shit.
Yes,
like, I think that's the biggest tragedy like that there can be in education is
where
when like
no one cares.
Someone really needs help and like the teacher doesn't care and they're the ones that are there to educate you, and like that sucks. And there's so many teachers that bust their ass and vice versa. Have a kid that just doesn't give a fuck that could totally do well if they give a shit.
Yeah.
So Beck's episode fucked me up too. Haha, says Anakin. You did it, you said, stream chat. LOL. Thanks, Glitch Grimp. I'm really fucking trying, man. You don't know.
Ulrich says, I live in a haunted house and I'm more scared of the storm than my creepy unfinished basement.
I think it's funny that Ulrich actually said, I love in a haunted house, because that changes like everything about that. I love in a haunted house. Good for you. Love wherever you go.
He typed live right after, or they.
I know. I just like reading it and then reading the correction, because sometimes the things are funny.
Have you seen Blackwell Ghosts? We have not. I watched Temple on Netflix. I think I already said that before in a previous episode. But we haven't really watched a lot of horror movies. We need to watch what shadows do in the dark or something.
My song knows what you did in the dark.
No.
So let it up.
We need to watch. It's a movie on Amazon or Netflix, I think. But we need to watch that one.
A lot of people shouted out to Taz, which is the Adventure Zone. I fucking love the Adventure Zone, dude. It's so funny. Taco is life, says Glitch Grim. Taco's a character on Adventure Zone who's absolutely hilarious. It's played by Justin? Yeah, Justin McElroy. It's 3 brothers and their dad playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's all you need to know to listen to it, because they're all brand new to it or like fairly new to it, and it's just hysterical. You don't need to know anything about Dungeons and Dragons to listen to it. Anakin, it's okay, guys. I just might be glitching out, LMAO. Momenti, she's edging your annoying meter. She so is. She just gets it ready to blow, and then it just backs down, and then I just snap at the stupidest shit.
It's getting weird.
It's not getting weird. That's the California education system, says Miss Deasy. Liam says, yeah, it is, Miss Deasy. Glitch Grim, I live in Garland, and the tornado last year took out the apartment right down the street. We almost got hit, and we lost power for days. What do we do in the dark? Comedy about vampire.
Yes, that's the one. We need to watch that one.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
Right on.
So we should
Good
watch
stuff.
that.
Stream chat. So
okay.
I believe you're next, because I totally just read this last one.
Okay. All right.
So here we go.
So this one is their first email to us. And so this one goes, hello, Robin and Adam.
Hello. Fucking nailed that.
What is that, like Seinfeld or something?
Yeah, that's Seinfeld.
Okay. I knew that one.
I think I've said it like a million times to you. It's a good episode where he has to pick between dating a chick and like using this shitty catchphrase, hello, because she hates it. So he picks the catchphrase, of course.
Oh my God.
And then like after he picks the catchphrase over her, like they're like, oh, we're kind of over it. So he goes to get her back, and then like she doesn't take him back. It's a funny fucking episode. Just watch it. That's all I'm saying. Watch Seinfeld. Great show.
Okay.
There's a lot of young kids that have never seen Seinfeld. That's showing off the air in like 1998. It's just a show about nothing, and it's fucking hilarious.
20 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's been off the air for a long fucking time.
That's crazy. It's hard to think that there are so many movies out there that I absolutely love that are like 25 years old now.
Yeah.
And I just feel so old.
It's weird when someone's like, "You mean 1994?" And in my brain, I'm automatically doing math like, "That's like 6 years ago." Oh no, wait, that's like 22 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm old
I
as
feel
fucking
so
balls.
Old. Okay. So, my name's Amelia, pronounced the same way as Amelia. It's spelled with an E instead of an A.
Hello, Amelia.
And I'm from Florida, which means no basements here. That's cool to know. I didn't know. How do you... Okay.
The further south you get, the less they dig a foundation deep into the ground where you can actually turn it into something.
Oh.
It usually becomes like a crawl space because there is still area down there.
Yeah.
But like there's no like full living space underneath where you can like go down and walk around.
Yeah.
I wonder how deep basements are like in northern Canada. They're probably like twice as big as the house.
No.
Not really. They're deep probably.
Canadian friends, let us know. I know you're out there. We have some spooky friends out there in Canada.
We do. The Great White North.
I found your podcast on Spotify while driving 9.5 hours up to the Carolinas and absolutely fell in love with it.
Yay! I love that
we're so cute.
I hate you. I love that we're a road trip podcast. That's really cool because I like going on road trips and just listening to something like in like a series. Now that we have so many episodes, people can just binge the fuck out of us. And that just makes me really happy. So if you can recommend us to a friend and they like us, then they have so much to listen to, and it's just really cool.
We've
I don't know.
Built up a catalog. It's nice.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
So I binge listened to Scary-ish the entire way there and back.
Nice.
That's 20 hours. 20 hours of podcast.
That's a fuck ton of podcasts. That's like 20 episodes.
This is my first email to you guys, and I'm finally getting around to telling y'all my encounters that I played off as nothing at the time. I definitely feel more validated after listening to the podcast, so thank you.
Because you don't feel
You're
as crazy,
welcome.
which is the whole point.
It's like crazy that people are so isolated and they feel so alone because no one will believe them. And I think that's just the hardest part of experiencing these things is when people are like, I don't know what you're talking about.
To slightly adjust Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters 2, sometimes shit happens, someone wants to hear about it, and who you going to email? Storytime@scarish.com. That's who bitches.
Is it Ghostbusters though? Is that what
he never says that. Yeah, that's just, watch the movie. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So, okay, I have a short, happy encounter and a 2-part, absolutely scary encounter.
Okay, so settle in, folks.
Feel free to share both of them. We will. I'll start with the happy one. I don't know. Do we want to finish with the happy one or?
I mean, I'm going last, so.
Okay. So I'll preface.
She raised her hand to strike me for a third time this episode.
I'll preface my story by saying my family is very close. I have a sister 6 years older than me, and she's my best friend. That's really sweet.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard when you're the older sister. And you have a sister that's so much younger than you because you know they're gonna cramp your style. I'm looking out at you, sis. I cramped your style.
She's talking to Janet right there. Shout out to Janet.
On Christmas morning last year, my sister, my mom, and I were in the kitchen reminiscing on old times with family while making mimosas. Fuck yeah, mimosas.
Nice. For those of you who don't know, a mimosa is champagne and orange juice.
Cocaine, gasoline.
I hate you. Yeah, all those things mixed together. Champagne, cocaine, gasoline, and Brendan Urie's sweat. We'll go with sweat. I'm joking. Just keep going. Okay. You're the one that brings up the Panic at the Disco reference, and then I try and go with it, and you just stare at me.
Okay. We started talking about my Aunt Angie, who's my mom's little sister, who'd passed away nearly a decade ago from skin cancer.
Aww.
That's so unfortunate.
It is.
My aunt and my sister had an inseparable bond. I was very young when she passed, so I don't remember much, but I know she loved us all so very much. We had just finished making our mimosas, so we put the cap back on the orange juice and the champagne bottle and stood there talking about how much we missed our aunt. Not even a second after my mom said, "Your Aunt Angie used to love mimosas," the cap on the orange juice unscrewed and went flying across the countertop. Nobody had touched the bottle, and all three of us saw it happen in front of our faces. We looked at each other in shock, but we didn't feel scared at all. I know my house is old and haunted to begin with, but I'm convinced it was my aunt letting us know that she still watches over us.
Drink up, bitches! I'm still here!
One for the homies. We poured a mimosa for Aunt Angie.
You just called it. That's hilarious.
And we stood in the kitchen hugging and crying together. That's so sweet.
Imagine being a person who walks into that scene like you left them like 5 minutes ago and you come in and everyone's just fucking crying and there's a new mimosa that's not being drank by anyone. You'd be like, man, you guys need to stop drinking.
It was truly a heartwarming encounter. It sounds like it. That's really, really sweet. Okay, now for the next one. This one's spooky. Feel free to separate this into 2 parts because it's long and it's fine.
It's on Storytime, so we're just going to power right through the whole thing.
Yes. I'll start off by saying I work at a hookah lounge. Nice.
I can't go to hookah lounges anymore.
I've never been.
Fucking carbon monoxide poisoning from bad coals one time, and that's it. Just every time you taste hookah after that, all you can think about is being lightheaded and throwing up.
Never done it.
It sucks.
I don't know how that feels.
Hookah's actually kind of fun. Don't recommend it.
I've heard that recently.
Yeah,
but
from a lot of people. We've also heard that like some of the people that enjoyed hookah are people that have never smoked marijuana and also had their hookah packed with marijuana unbeknownst to them, and that they were much more agreeable after smoking the hookah. So
that's fucking hilarious.
It's very funny. Don't ever drug people, kids, but
no,
that in particular is pretty fucking funny. Don't do it though.
This looked up. The building used to be a store for hearing aids back in the 90s. Weird things have always happened in the lounge, but we just brushed it off as no big deal. It's very dark, and we have a few paintings that definitely give off creepy vibes and make you want to walk a little bit faster when you pass by them.
Like Vigo, the ruler of Carpathia and Moldavia. Ghostbusters 2.
Stop
it.
But the overall vibe of the lounge is very warm and inviting. I work with some of my best friends, and we keep the atmosphere happy and upbeat. I know there are some things like certain mirrors and stuff like that I see that I'm like, gonna run past it, because I don't want to happen to see a shadow in it.
Some inanimate objects just give off a weird vibe, which is just very odd. For a person that's very skeptical, there's definitely inanimate objects that I see. I'm like, I don't want to fucking be near that. And I can't explain it. I don't know why. I'm just like, if that's how I feel, I'm not going near it.
Yeah. We have a bunch of board games for customers to use. Among those board games are, you guessed it, not 1, but 2 Ouija boards.
Why in the fuck would you keep Ouija? I mean, like, I understand, like, having everyone sit around a table and maybe it'll bring in a certain crowd. But, man, if I walked into a fucking hookah lounge, I was like, all right, let's do this. Like, if I didn't get sick from going to hookah, and I saw people on the Ouija board, I'd be like, fuck this shit, I'm out. If I walked into a coffee shop, I don't care where I walked into, and people were fucking around with a Ouija board, I would be like, go Facebook Live and watch you from the parking lot.
Wow.
Because I'm not staying in that fucking place. I leave well enough alone, and I'm not going to be around it.
What if Facebook Live is the new thing that creates like the unfriended thing? Because now that there's technology, what if
it was like Facebook was in
Live,
unfriended,
and then demons travel through Facebook Live.
Just write this down as we'll make it a script.
Like, oh, man.
We'll call it Scary-ish, the movie.
Oh man, nah, man. My sister has a camera now. Let's do it.
What? So is your sister going to be the one that does the Ouija board shit?
No.
I'm so confused.
We'll film a movie. We'll make a movie.
Oh, okay, for making a movie. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
we'll just give that a shot. No big deal.
We need funding. Send us funds.
Yeah, we'll kickstart that shit.
Nobody really used them. They were just kind of there for shits and giggles, which was a bad idea. I was working one night when something just felt off. I didn't think anything of it, but as the night went on, everyone started to feel very tense and uneasy, and naturally, we started asking if anything weird had been going on that night. It was about 2:45 a.m., already a bad sign,
you know what's
when
happening
a group
here.
of customers left. So as I went to clear off their table, I noticed they had left one of the fucking Ouija boards on the table. Oh.
But did they say goodbye?
Immediately, I thought, fuck this shit, I'm out. But I was on the clock, so I couldn't leave. It's crazy that you have to work so late into the night.
Yeah. I wonder what her shift is at the hookah lounge, because some places are just like,
we're open 24 hours?
We're open until no one's here. You
really?
know, like I would go down to Purdue, like the main campus, because I went to an extension, but I go to the main campus to party sometimes. We totally went to a fucking hookah lounge. It was like 3 a.m. and there's still people in there, and they were going to be open until eventually everyone left, or they closed, I think, like at 6 or sunrise. They didn't have like official hours. We got thrown out. My friends are fucking stupid. Like, if you're going to throw up in a toilet, like, get down on your knees and throw up in a toilet. My friends like to stand up and aim at the toilet and then vomit down at it. I know this is just like a complete tangent, but it creates a huge fucking mess. And then you get screamed at by someone like, go clean the fucking bathroom. And you're like, I don't work here. Suck my balls. And then they tell you to leave. So, yeah, good story. Those are such fun times. That's disgusting. Oh my God, that's the same night me and my friend Jimmy, we had $1. We were going to tip someone. And because they were an asshole to us, we're like, you know what? Fuck you. And I ripped the $1 in half. And I gave one half to Jimmy. And every time some transition happens in our lives, we text each other a picture of half of what we call the BFF buck, the best friends forever buck. I literally sent it. This is fucking 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I changed wallets. I sent him a picture of the BFF buck. He didn't send me a picture back for 24 hours, and then I got it, and it warmed my heart. It was just so fucking nice.
You guys just exchanged pictures of the buck like a couple months ago.
Yeah, when I changed wallets. That's what I just said.
I thought you said 10 years ago.
No, I said when I tore the fucking $1 bill in half.
Oh.
It was 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
See what I deal with?
Sorry.
Love you, Jimmy. You don't listen, probably. You're too smart for that.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's just like he's too smart to, see stuff on my Facebook and be like, I'm going to click that. I've tricked him too many times.
You're an idiot. I hate you.
He is the first person in our group that heard of 2 Girls, 1 Cup, though. You're sick.
Oh.
I've never seen the video. I fucking refuse to watch it. We're not watching it. Not doing it. Not fucking doing it. I watched my friends watch it. I watched them watch it and heard the fucking audio and saw them almost all fucking throw up. And I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm going to fucking make myself a drink and never expose my brain to that shit. So
okay.
It's fucking disgusting.
Back to the email. I noticed they had left the fucking Ouija board on. Blah, blah, blah. I told my coworker who had left. I told my coworker who.
We're gonna get through this sentence, folks. I swear.
I told my coworker who was concerned about the bad vibes that night that someone had used the Ouija board. We nervously laughed it off to help us cope with the fact that they most likely didn't close out the session properly and left us all with extremely unwelcoming bad vibes. Thankfully, we close at 3 a.m. There's the answer. Yep. So they close at 3. So we were able to quickly clean up and leave. The next night, I was working again. It was a weekend, so it was pretty busy. I told my manager about what had happened the night before with the Ouija board and the overwhelming sense of dread that everyone felt. We were definitely in the presence of a malevolent spirit. Within seconds of saying, I don't think they closed the session properly, the entire lounge lost power.
That's so fucking creepy.
Fuck that shit, dude. But imagine, it's smoky in there, and it's dark, and it's just super scary.
And then the lights go out, and things get really fucking sexy.
Oh my goodness. It was pitch black in the entire place, and all I saw were my manager's eyes staring at me in sheer terror.
It's just like darkness. You see a set of eyes, like super fucking wide, like we're all about to die. You can just read it in their eyes.
Cue the extremely uneasy feeling and the urge to nope the fuck out of there. We literally stood there holding each other for a few minutes while we heard the rest of the lounge still laughing and having a good time, even with the power being out. No other building had lost power, just the lounge. I go around to tables apologizing about the power being out and that we were in the process of trying to get it back on. The power wouldn't come back on. We tried everything. I told the rest of my coworkers what my manager and I were talking about right before the power went out, and they turned pale white. After about an hour of trying to fix the power, the overwhelming sense of fear and dread in the building was so intense, we literally had to tell customers to leave so we could lock up and nope the fuck out of there. We didn't even clean up or do any of our normal closing duties. We locked the door and left. As I was driving down the road, I looked in my rearview mirror and watched the power turn back on not even 2 minutes after we all left. Something definitely did not want us in there. I was so scared I went to my parents' house. Me, a grown-ass woman, climbed into my mother's bed and refused to sleep alone that night.
Sometimes that shit happens, dude. Sometimes something spooks you so much, you're just like, I cannot behave like a normal, rational adult right now. Like, I need to behave like I'm fucking scared and like I'm a kid again. So, like, I've had people, like, call me before, like, hey, bro, I'm just calling you just to, like, be grounded for a second because something really fucking weird happened. Or, like, hey, man, like, I'm calling you because, like, I had this really bad feeling and I want to find out. Like, sometimes you just need to reach out to someone. That's, like, kind of why we have the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously we don't have a hotline that you guys can call whenever some creepy shit happens. But, hey, send us an email after the fact and let us know.
Yeah. All right. So, the events continue.
Oh, God.
As a whole, the staff at the lounge agreed that we had to do something about the Ouija board situation. The last session was left open, so, you guessed it, we had to open another Ouija session and close it to get all the paranormal stuff to stop. This just reminds me of that
Ouija movie?
Yeah.
Veronica?
Yeah, Veronica. Me being the dumbass that I am, volunteered to help rid the lounge of the unhappy spirit. My mom is super Catholic, so she armed me with rosaries and holy water and those candles with all the saints on them.
That's hilarious. My grandfather had so many of those fucking candles in his room.
In parentheses, it says, clearly I'm not as religious. My other coworker brought in healing crystals. We arrived at the lounge in the daytime before we opened up to put an end to the paranormal activity once and for all.
I hate that phrase. Robin knows it. Whenever I see a movie and I hear the phrase once and for all, I'm just like, bad writing. Like, I hate it. I don't hate your email. I'm not saying that. Just once and for all just triggers me. My apologies.
Why?
It just sounds like over the top dramatic. Like, watch, I think it's Final Destination 2, and watch that scene with Ali Larder, where she's like, we can put an end to this once and for all. And just hearing her read that line, I'm like, if they would have left that out, it still would have been a really bad movie. But hearing that, like, I just want to hit my head against concrete. So, sorry, bad memories. It has nothing to do with the email.
So, it continues. We set up all of our crystals and candles and holy water in the back of the building. Someone went to go grab the Ouija boards. They were not there. We looked everywhere and couldn't find them until we saw the corner of a box sticking out of the trash can. Bad idea. Nobody knows how they ended up in the trash since we had closed early the night before, but we brought them back inside. We didn't know which board was used the other night, so we had to open and close sessions for both of them.
Wow.
Is that how that works?
I don't know.
It has to be the specific board?
I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. And if you don't know, like, and you're trying to, like, stop everything once and for all, like, you got to cover all your bases.
God damn it. I had never used a Ouija board before. There were 3 of us using the board itself with our hands on the planchette and the another person watching to make sure everything was okay. We asked questions, no response. We waited, still no response. Eventually, we just said goodbye and closed the session. No big deal, right? Fuck, I have like... I'm scared of what's going to happen.
Quick break in. Twitch chat. No. What are you waiting for, huh? At Scarish Podcast. Name that awful movie. That's I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that's Jennifer Love Hewitt jumping up and down with her boobs almost falling out of her shirt. I love that scene. So, just saying. I typically don't break into this like during the stories with Twitch chat, but okay. I just looked over and saw that. Don't challenge my movie knowledge because it's not that extensive.
Okay. Someone grabbed the second board and put it on the table. Immediately, I felt a wave of sadness wash over me, and I just about started to cry for no reason. I wanted to nope the fuck out of there, but felt unable to move. We lit white candles around the table for good energy. This board, I have shivers right now. This board apparently did not have its own planchette, so we used the planchette from the other board. We started asking yes or no questions, and the planchette started moving, answering the questions we were asking. We all looked at each other and thinking someone was moving it, but nobody was. Everyone was being serious. We asked the board, "What's your name?" and it began to spell Glenn. Glenn was my grandfather's name, who had passed away a few years ago. I start freaking out, and that's how I know nobody was messing with the board, because there was no way for them to know my grandfather's name. We asked if it was my grandfather, and the planchette moved to no. The planchette then started moving all over the place erratically, and we closed the session. We sat there in silence for a bit. I have fucking chills, dude. Look at my arms.
Yep, they're very bumpy. I can confirm, very bumpy arms.
We sat there in silence for a bit, pretty shook about the fact we had just talked to a fucking ghost. The fourth person who was observing the session later told us that every time we asked a question, the candle flames would stick straight up, and whenever the planchette was moving, the flames would flicker and turn sideways. The air was off, so there was no way for the flames to move the way they were. After this, we felt a strange connection to this Ouija board, as if we needed to protect it somehow.
Wow, that's weird.
The Ouija boards are no longer available for customers to use, and we keep them properly stored away. I am now a strong believer in Ouija boards and the paranormal. Since then, we haven't had any more encounters, but we do get the occasional creepy vibe, especially in the back of the building. Now, anytime we go to work, we make sure to say hi to our terrifying new friend, Glenn.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry for any grammar issues. It was totally fine. There were no issues. To this day, I still get the creeps from talking about this kind of stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'd love for you to share these on the podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my encounters. I am such a big fan. Keep on creeping on. Your spooky and very spooked friend, Amelia.
Thank you, Amelia. Thank you for sending that in.
That's really good.
And I'm sorry for making fun of the once and for all thing. That's just me. And I'd just like to say 2 quick things. One, let us know in the top of the email whether or not you want them read. Because honestly, we don't proofread them unless, like, you know, we have someone to check them for me. And if we would have just gone through that whole thing, it's like, also, please don't share this with anyone when I'm not live. I'd be kind of embarrassed about that.
Yeah.
And second thing, someone jumped in and said, I'm new. I believe it was Donut Face 37. Hello, Donut Face. Welcome to Scary-ish. It's nice to have you here. We're a weekly podcast, and we also broadcast once a week as well. So we'll let you know all about that when we're wrapping up the show. I think we have one more email, and then we'll be done for the night. But however, we're going to check out Stream Chat before we move on. So let's go ahead and do that. Going to scroll up here.
Ulri says Lord of the Rings is so old and so good. I don't think it's that old, is it?
It's not that old.
I was in
high school when the first one came out.
I think we just had a Lord of the Rings marathon like a few months ago.
It's weird when you completely miss out on something from your childhood, and then it shows up. Like Zaboomafoo for me makes sense because I was a little bit older and I wouldn't have been watching like that channel at that time. But like I was a huge fantasy nerd growing up. I had never heard of Lord of the Rings. The movie came out, and even my like jock friends were like, "We gotta go fucking see this." I read that book when I was a kid. And I was like, "Book? What book?" Like, "You never read The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings?" I'm like, "You're just making fucking sounds with your mouth right now. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
That was our summer reading list, I think, was reading The Hobbit. And I think we had to read The Two Towers. But really good books. You guys should read them. The Hobbit is much better in book form, I think. And then Miss Deasy said Golden Girls is a great barometer for age.
That is a good. That's because if you ask someone like, "What Golden Girl are you?" they'll just look at you like, "What?"
My younger sister knows the answer to that.
That's
though.
true.
She loves Golden Girls.
I don't remember any of their characteristics anymore because I haven't seen it since I was younger. Like when it was actually on TV. I remember the name Blanche, and I know Betty White's from it. That's all I really remember at this point.
I don't even know Betty White's name.
I think when we high five,
is she Blanche?
I don't know. I think when we high fived, Ulrich said, "So cute, I'm gonna barf rainbows." Golden Girls is a barometer for age. Yep, you just read that one. What else is
I
there?
did grow up on Arthur, and aardvark is still one of the words I know how to spell because there's an episode where Arthur gets into a spelling bee and he focuses on the first word in his little dictionary or his list or whatever, where he's just like AARDVARK, and that's how he like remembers how to spell aardvark.
I was gonna challenge her to spell it, and then she just did it anyways. So
it's
clearly
a song.
she does.
That's how he like memorizes it.
I know the entire preamble to the Constitution because of fucking Schoolhouse Rock. So that's a good barometer for age too, for those of you who don't know what Schoolhouse Rock is. Arthur, okay, Butter and Butt says, Arthur, yes, you know that after elementary school, I was to throw myself down and turn on the TV. Miss Deasy, damn, Blanche was a slut.
Oh my god.
So now we know who Blanche was, the slut. Glitch Grim says, LOLB was my fave, the sass. Wow, so now we're having a full-blown Golden Girls discussion.
I don't know.
There was a board game at Target.
There must be a Golden Girls board game. There's no way there isn't.
Glitch Grim says, I'm going to Target. Arthur's the only reason I know how to spell aardvark, says Ori. That's so fucking funny that you totally just did that story. Golden Girl pop search intensifies from Miss Deasy.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yes. Arthur was very educational, taught us how to spell aardvark.
On PBS Kids, what about Dragon Tales? Oh, I don't remember Dragon Tales.
Dragon Tales. It's such a good show.
I remember Puff the Magic Dragon. That's all I really remember.
Dragon Tales, it was about a pair of siblings, a sister and a brother, and they get this like magical dragon scale, and then they wish on the dragon scale with all their might, and then they go to the world of
Wow, sounds intense.
Yeah,
I think it's really funny because something will happen between stories, like right when we're starting to transition into a new email, and then Stream Chat has its own conversation, and then they'll start to catch up to what we're saying, and then like the chat changes because like right here it says this chat will definitely be interesting for them to go over LMAO, and then Ulrich right after that says, do you want ghosts? Because that's how you get ghosts. So clearly something happens. We're not bringing a Ouija board to Canada.
That's fucking hilarious.
Momentai 13 says, I'd act in your movie. So that's good to know.
Oh, that's cool.
Scary-ish movie. You stand-ins for the occult.
Sacrifices for art.
That's so fucking good.
Ruthless.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't put the fucking Ouija board back. It's like, that's the thing, though. It's really weird that shit happened in the place and didn't follow someone home. Because I feel like most of our stories are like, someone fucks around with a Ouija board,
and
they do something stupid, and then something happens to them no matter where they go, versus the place. But maybe they did have something fucking weird happen to them after that. They probably didn't even close it. That's what I was thinking, too. Miss Deasy said something to make Glitch Grim spit the coke out of the nose.
No, because Glitch said, am I the only one that thinks when Adam stares at the cam, he's looking at you and judging you?
Okay, it's a judgmental look because usually I'll be like staring off into space over here, and then I look at the camera when I hear something that I find either interesting or kind of sounds like bullshit. So I'll just be like, so I am judging, but it's not you because I can't see you. Also, stairs, it's the wrong stairs. So just saying. I'm sorry. I'm being a fucking asshole. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Crispy562 is now following us. Thank you so much for following us, Crispy. We really appreciate that.
So Miss Deasy said every time, I wish he was going to tell me he's proud of me.
Oh my god.
And that's what
Miss Deasy, I am proud of you. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you. It burns, LOL, fuck that. Nope, bye Ashley. That's fucking terrifying. These are all reactions to the stories we're going through. So could it be that it's connected to someone, or perhaps the ghost just wanted some alone time?
Oh,
I wonder if,
maybe.
I think ghosts have a lot of alone time. Unless, like, the spirit world is really crowded, and there was, like, one ghost that was hanging out in the hookah lounge, and they started using the fucking Ouija board, and it pulled in all these other ghosts, and they're like, oh, god damn it, there goes my secret spot.
I was just playing Fallout 4, and I was in Nuka-Cola World, and there's a mission where you have to, like, go collect all these, like, medallions from all the rides and stuff, and then you go into this room, and it's just the head of the guy that invented Nuka-Cola, and he's just this head. So he's a head that's attached to, like, this life-preserving machine, and he's been...
Like Futurama?
Yes, and he's been there for, like, 200 years or however long, right? And so he's like, I've been staring at the same wall by myself for 200 years.
That's hilarious.
And I was just like, I will kill you now.
Wow, that's really awful.
Well, it's because you either... Okay, so there's a vault. Not a vault, but like a locked room. Locked by like a huge, gigantic security door. You can't break it down or anything. And so you either have a choice of letting him live and letting the girl that's with you like talk to him and stuff like that for the rest of her life, or you can get and she gives you like a vault, like a suit, a Nuka-Cola suit or something, and or you can kill the guy and get the fucking nuke launcher, like a nuke launcher.
Right on.
And so, sorry, this is like
I'm like, this has been the Fallout 4 corner with Robin.
No, but like you can do that, and so I was like, I want the freaking nuke launcher. I'm gonna murder this guy.
So you murdered this dude just to get yourself a new gun.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we needed to know.
Hashtag worth it.
Okay, what else is in this stream chat? Once and for all equals there's gonna be a sequel. Quit, just fucking quit, said Ulri Butternut. Butter and butt. I always say butternut. Get yourself a mom to armor you up. That's fucking hilarious. We already read Miss Deezy's What Are You Waiting For during the story. Wait, but I thought they saw the board being left on the table. That's when Donut Face came in and said, I'm new, and everyone said hello. Good job, guys. I'm glad you said hello. One of us.
Get yourself a mom to armor you up.
Evan said, do you like pumpkin spice donuts from
yes!
YouTube? No, I don't.
Yes.
She does.
Send us some.
I don't.
I want some.
We
had some last year. We went to an orchard when we went to Indiana, and they had amazing pumpkin donuts, and we bought 1 million, we ate 1 million, we brought back 12, and we put them away, and we forgot about them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It was a waste of like 4 donuts. I was so pissed.
Ulrich says Lord of the Rings Fellowship movie is 17 years old. Holy fuck, I'm old. Betty White was Rose on Golden Girls, says Brittany White. I wonder if Brittany White's related to Betty White. Ira says, y'all don't know old unless you first watched George Clooney in Facts of Life and not ER. That's so fucking funny.
Never seen it.
But you never seen Facts of Life? Yeah. So you're only 4 years younger than me. I hate it. I died and wow, I am a ghost. That's hilarious. So we've almost we've completely caught up at this point. So that's good. We just went through all the stream chat. So good work. With a nice Fallout 4 tangent on the side as well.
Oh, Miss Deezy bought the pops on Amazon.
For
the
Golden
Girl ones?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like Golden Girls owes us some money now. Brittany White says, haha, I wish. We're just going to say that you're related to Betty White and go from there. So we won't tell anyone, I promise.
You're ridiculous.
I'm black. That doesn't mean shit.
I'm dying.
Are you okay? You going to make it through?
Yes.
All right. We got one more story to read, and I definitely want to get to this one because this one was sent to us like 2 months ago, and it has an attachment to Labor Day, which actually just passed. So let me mark that. Should we just jump into it? I'm going to jump into it.
Yeah, just jump into it.
Because we're at a good spot to go back to it. Okay. So this one is called, there's no title to it. I fucked that up. So moving forward. It starts out like this. Hey guys. Hello. Just finished listening to your episode where the girl talks about her friend's suicide and the dream she was having first. First, I just want to say that was definitely an original story and has not been copied off of Reddit. LOL.
Nice.
That was during Reddit Gate, I think.
Yeah.
Reddit Gate. This isn't really scary, but only one person knows about this, and it helps to talk about it. Anyways, here we go. I have only had 3 people in my immediate family pass away in my adulthood. My grandfather, who I was extremely close to, my grandmother, and most recently, my uncle. My uncle, and in parentheses, my favorite uncle, passed away unexpectedly the Friday of Labor Day weekend after over 2 weeks in the hospital. The last of those 2 weeks, he was in a, quote, self-induced coma. Our family spent these last 2 weeks visiting him. Some of us were lucky enough to see him right before he got put into the coma. I was thankfully one of those. Unfortunately, my mom, who lives in Florida, in parentheses, we're from Jersey. Ew. It says that in there. I didn't say that.
Oh,
it's written in there.
Okay, I was going to say that's offensive.
Their mother was not so lucky. She ended up coming the week they had just put him under and stayed by his side till she went back home.
Aww.
Long story short, my uncle passed a couple days after she left. The hardest part of his death was that we still don't know why. So let's just say I had a lot going. My way to heal was to drink like every single day, and I just started falling into a deeper sense of depression. As a side note, this is just me talking here, I know a lot of people, and I'm 33, who when they have something traumatic happen to them, their first instinct is to drink. And some people do it because it's like there's something there where they've been dulling that sensation for a long time whenever anything happened. And some people do it because it's like, it's what I see on TV. It's what I know that people do. Like, you have a rough day, you have a drink. You really should not associate levels of pain with alcohol like that.
Yeah.
And that said, I won't judge anyone who has to go through something like that and deals with it. But like, please understand that you got to pull yourself back from it before it becomes a problem. Like, I've had family that's like had really bad problems. And like, I had family one time that had a terrible addiction, and it wasn't alcoholism. And my alcoholic, there's an alcoholic in my family. They just told me like, I'm just so thankful they decided not to crawl into a bottle because I feel like they can make it out of what they were doing. So I'm not going to go into specifics, but just know, like, try and keep yourself together without the use of alcohol during like really depressing situations. Because it's really easy to just look at someone and be like, I can get drunk right now and not feel a thing. So getting back to the email, she says, so back to my dream. In my dream, my uncle and abuelo, which is grandfather.
Oh,
I think.
Abuelo?
Yes.
Okay, grandfather.
I'm terrible with Spanish. Kept asking me to do stuff for them. I kept telling them I couldn't, that I had other things I had to do and they needed to wait another day. They kept on, and finally I gave in. In the last part of my dream, I was in the car with both of them complaining about how I needed to go to work and I needed to get all these things done when my uncle just says in his raspy Dominican loud voice, you just need to calm down. I just need you to calm down and take it slow. You are doing too much and it's not okay. Now just take us where we have to go. That's super interesting. I remember waking up and not knowing what to do with myself. I only told one of my good friends about this dream over a lot of drinks, and she basically said that the two men that always had my back were when they were here are trying to let me know that they are still taking care of me. That did make me feel much better, but sad, of course, because I mean I would prefer for them to be here, but my grandpa would be over 100 at this point, so it's not realistic, right? Anyways, it's almost September, almost Labor Day weekend, and let's say I really don't look forward to it, but hoping it'll get easier. Aww. Sorry if it's so long. Sorry if my writing is all over the place. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
But I just felt the need to tell you guys because I really don't talk much about my feelings, which is why I'm now depressed, LOL. Not sure if you guys would read this on one of your episodes, but if you do, that would be awesome. But if you decide not to, that would be cool too. So obviously we decided to read this. So thank you so much for sending it and sharing it.
I hope your Labor Day was super horrible or anything.
My heart goes out to you. And my brother has this thing where like every Labor Day growing up, he'd always break a bone. Like, it's weird. Like Labor Day coming up always meant like we're probably going to wind up in a hospital. And I can tell you, like, I remember him breaking his arm twice, his wrist once. Like, Labor Day has a weird association for me too. And when you have a death, especially close to a holiday, like I fucking hate Valentine's Day. My grandfather died on Valentine's Day.
What about Thanksgiving now?
So yeah, Thanksgiving has a terrible association for me too. But like I try and fill all those holidays with something else that I can do. So like Thanksgiving, the day before, I can't fucking remember anymore. Around Thanksgiving, one of my very close friends committed suicide. So Thanksgiving kind of fucking sucks. But I try and do something with all the people that I love that are still here to kind of like not ignore it, but just continue moving forward with like happiness. Because I know, like, I'm very skeptical. Anyone who listens to this or has ever watched the show knows I'm a very skeptical person. But I know that if there is something going on in the afterlife and those people can see me, they don't want to see me sitting around and dwelling and feeling like shit. And that might make them feel bad too, like that they had that sort of effect on me. I'd much rather be in a very happy place with people I fucking love and tell fun stories about the people that aren't here anymore. You know, and I think that's a really good way to try and move forward with it. And yeah, you can do it over drinks. There's nothing wrong with having a few drinks, but like,
just don't
trying to forget about stuff through alcohol versus trying to open up and talk about stuff through alcohol is like, it's a very different scenario. So I'm not going to judge anyone or begrudge anyone how they handle any of their fucking situations because everyone is different.
Yeah.
Like literally everyone is different, but just be careful. Don't let yourself fall into that hole because that's an even deeper hole to get out of. So you shouldn't ever feel bad because you get depressed for something like that because that's just a supernatural reaction to something terrible like that happening.
Right.
So thank you so much for sharing it. And I really think that your friend was onto something. Like when you have people like that come to see you in a dream, I really think it's a sign that they're trying to give you advice like, hey, you don't have to put all this on your fucking shoulders and you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like it's okay to try and move forward and be happy.
Yeah.
So thank you again for sending that in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So one last look over at Stream Chat before we call it.
Trip7 says, teal looks good on you, Robin. Thank you. This is actually a Pikachu shirt. It's teal and it has Pikachus all over it. I love Pikachu.
Brittany White says, love you guys. We love you too, Brittany. Tell Betty we said we like her too.
Glad we got the grandfather correct. Yeah, to me, O means male and A means female. So
that's right. That is correct. I'm pretty sure I told you that on an episode like 3 weeks ago too. So she listens. Miss Daisy says,
Spanish.
Oh, that could be. Not really. George Clooney was in Golden Girls. I did not know that.
What?
Ulrich says you broke Robin. She'll repair very quickly. That's what she does.
Watch out, Adam is the spelling police.
Yeah, I don't know. Grammar Nazi over here.
Okay. So,
Butch Graham says, "Oh damn, sorry, Adam. You don't have to be sorry, man. That shit just happens. It's just life. And you know what? I miss my friend, and I feel bad because he's not here anymore. But it is what it is, you know. Like I fucking love every memory I had with him, and I get to move forward and tell people about it. And like, I don't want to share a whole lot right now, just because it's like, I don't want anyone who recognizes it to be like, oh shit, that happened. I know that person. You know what I mean? It's not my stuff to tell, but just keep moving forward. Like the whole keep going thing, the keep going thing that I always talk about. Like, I feel like that's the best way to honor someone that you really miss, is for them to see you doing well and also share the stories that they have. Because
do you just keep on creeping on?
I hate you so much right now.
Okay. And then Ulrich says November 5th is the day his grandparents died 5 years apart. That is absolutely harsh and rough. That's
because those dates come up and they weigh so heavily on your heart. Like they've actually scientifically proven like there's fibers around your heart that like when you have heartache, when you have emotional distress, like will become damaged. So it's like heartbreak is a real thing. Like it's a palpable, tangible, like physical feeling. So I just want to just put this out there because it's the funniest thing that I can think of in my head right now, thinking about my friend. My friend was terrible at telling jokes. He was hilarious, but he was terrible at telling jokes. So the punchline for all of his fucking jokes always wound up being, oh shit, I fucked up the joke. And then everyone would fucking laugh, and they never took it too seriously, and they never got their feelings hurt. They would just be like, God damn it. And then they tell it again, and the joke would wind up being funny. But it happened all the fucking time. We were roommates for like 4 years, so he'd always tell me jokes and tell me stories, and like he'd have to go through them 2 or 3 times, and we'd wind up just standing there fucking laughing our asses off. And it had nothing to do with the joke. It just had to do with he always like misplaced something, or he'd start out like, okay, there's this horse named Friday. Oh shit, forget that. Okay, hang on, let's start over. And then you just start laughing. So that's the shit I like to concentrate on.
Nice. Glitch says we all have that one day that we all hate. Yes, everyone does. And yeah, butter and butt. I think that's what scares me about any alcohol or even drugs, because your brain learns to depend on them. Yeah. Kind of, but I don't think
and your brain legitimately learns to depend on certain drugs. Like some social behavior is learned and like you can like reverse it.
Right.
But something like for instance, heroin, like I grew up like around a lot of heroin overdoses. Like your brain literally becomes not just addicted to it, but dependent on like having that put into you. So that's why the withdrawals are so fucking severe, is because your brain like gets used to having that in your body. So a lot of drugs are that way. I
am guilty of smoking for 2 months out of my life.
She means cigarettes. This is a Robin confession.
Yes. When I was like 20 or something like that.
Girlfriend, chameleon.
Yeah, I dated a guy who was younger than me, and he smoked, and I was like, I want to fit in. So I started smoking, and I would smoke around all his friends and stuff like that. And then I broke up with him. And I don't even think I smoked for like 2 months. I think it was like maybe 2 weeks. It was dumb. Don't be a girlfriend chameleon.
Don't change who you are to fit in with someone, because if you have to do that, you probably shouldn't be with that person in the first place.
Yeah, it was dumb.
There's a difference between showing an interest in someone else's hobbies and like absorbing someone else's bad habits so that you can be around them and not have to be yourself.
Yeah, my dad actually had a smoking habit, and so I'm really glad I didn't grow that kind of dependency on smoking, because we smoked a lot during that couple weeks.
It's just foolish. It's not necessary.
No one needs that lung cancer.
Right on. So I think that's pretty good. That's a good place to start wrapping things up. We're almost at the 2-hour mark again. So
nice. Sorry for making you guys watch us for 2 hours.
We appreciate you guys sticking around for that long. Really fast before we do the official wrap up, I just want to go over the rules of the contest that we're currently running, because I know that we put it out there, but I just want to reiterate it and just make it very simple. So if you're going to try and get an entry, what you need to do is for any of the episodes that come out between now and
October 4th.
October 4th. Click like when you see the episode on Facebook. Once you're done clicking like on it, go into the comments and leave a comment. That comment should be the name of a friend that you can tag and say, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Maybe you tag the same friend over and over and irritate the shit out of them, in which case they might never listen to the podcast again. Maybe you spread it around and you try a bunch of different friends. I would recommend doing one an episode versus doing all your friends over and over and over, because we don't want to spam the shit out of them and make them hate us before they hear us.
Yeah.
But after you're done doing that, just share the episode so anyone you didn't tag can see it pop up in your feed. Once you do that, you get an official entry into the contest, and at the end of the month, whoever has done that as many times as we have episodes, we'll have that many entries into the contest, and then we will spin a wheel and see who's going to get some free shit.
Yep, and if you retweet, it's also another entry.
Yes, so just simply retweet that, and that's an additional entry.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Is there anything else regarding the contest you can think that I need to bring up? No? Prizes, maybe? Customized t-shirt we talked about, a bunch of jewelry, some Steve the Cat stuff that was sent to us as well.
Yeah, I don't know about the jewelry part, but I have a pin, some Ouija pins that I'm going to give one of in there too.
Cool. Good to know. She just did hand motions and went choo, choo, for those of you who were listening to the podcast and not watching it.
Yep.
So right on. I'm going to just do the normal closeout stuff then. If you guys want to reach out to us, you can email us at storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast. You can message us there, like the page. Let us know if you want us to share it or not, because we are okay keeping some stuff private if you just need someone to talk to. If you do want it to be shared, we absolutely will. And you can go to the group from there and share it yourself if you would like to and get some instant feedback. You can also join the Discord, which is very close to over 100 people.
Yeah.
And get some instant feedback there. There's a bunch of different stuff we talk about in the Discord too, like movies, food, TV, whatever. You know, we have a channel for just about everything. I think we just added in a channel for music as well.
Yeah.
We have a channel for ex-boyfriend or girlfriend stories, or
crazy,
just ex stories in general.
Stories. And don't forget patreon.com/scarishpodcast. I just mailed out everyone's buttons for the Badge of Honor tiers and up for this season. That's going to be, if you've seen the Facebook or any of the, I mean, if you're on Twitch right now, there's a little...
Our new fall logo is represented everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and see if we can do that on shirts or totes or something like that, since that seems to be the most popular one right now.
Cool. And you can always go to ko-fi.com, so ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast, and do a one-time donation there at any time. And then if you guys watch us on Twitch or YouTube, you can also send us a donation. I'm not sure if the donations on YouTube are active quite yet. There's a lot of stuff you have to do. But going to twitch.tv/scarishpodcast during the live broadcast, you can send in a donation there as well.
Yeah.
For those of you who want to basically contribute financially, we've tried to make it as convenient as possible. And anytime someone's like, can I give you money this way? We're like, no, but we're going to make it so you can. Because if someone has a way that makes it convenient for them, we want to make it, easy for you guys to donate. It really helps us out, and we really appreciate it.
Nice.
For those of you guys that don't have anything to kick our way, we totally fucking understand that, like you wouldn't believe. But leaving a rating or a review on iTunes really helps us out.
Yes.
Checked it today. We're up to 79.
Woo woo.
76 are 5 stars, which is fucking fantastic. So thank you guys so much. You can leave a rating without leaving a review, but the reviews are always nice to read. So that's about all the plugs that we normally do. Yep. Twitter is @ScarishPod as well. And then the YouTube channel is officially youtube.com/C
for channel and
/Scarish.
Yep.
So you can check it out at any time and see all the videos and episodes that we've done there since the channel was formed, which was, I think, the beginning of August.
Yep. And then just one last check of the Twitch or stream chat. What? Glitch, you can quit smoking. My dad did it. You can do it too. And he smoked for like years, probably like 20, 30 years, and he quit. So you can do it too. Miss Deezy, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you. Trip
Liam
7
says, how do we get the password thing for the Discord? It's just an invite. I can just paste it in there. I don't think it's on the site anymore. I don't know what happened to it. Hopefully this one will work again. If not, we'll send you one.
Yeah, and then Trip 7 says that logo is mo fucking kawaii.
That's funny. Quick inspirational story about quitting smoking. My grandmother smoked, I think, for 50 years. She smoked almost her entire life, Midge. So that's my mom's mom.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea she smoked my entire life because when she had grandkids, she stopped smoking. She didn't just kind of quit, like she fucking just quit. She was done.
Really?
So when my mom told me later, like, oh yeah, she smoked her whole life until like the grandkids started coming. Like she was like so adamant about not smoking after that. Like none of the grandkids even knew she smoked. Like that rocked our world. And like she had smoked for 50 years. Like that's such a huge portion of your life to just be like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done.
Nice.
Because sometimes you're just done. One of my friends, we went down to somewhere in Florida. I forget the name of it. It's where Ponce de Leon supposedly found the Fountain of Youth, that city. So if you know what I'm talking about, then you know that city, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. His great uncle, though, knew everyone in the town, and he had everything comped for us. We had this amazing time. And he told us this story at dinner. He said that he used to smoke, and he went to see his dad or his uncle, who was in the hospital for lung cancer, who was going to pass away. And he was walking out of the room to go outside, and he was taking his fucking pack of cigarettes out of his pocket to go have a smoke. And they were wheeling some dude past him who just looked like he was in terrible shape. And the guy grabbed his arm while they were rolling him past him. And he like looked down like, what the fuck? And he looked at him, he said, son, that's one too many. And they rolled him away. And he said, I never had that cigarette. He never had another one in his entire life.
Wow.
And while that story could be total bullshit, he told it really well. And that made a fucking impact on me, that you can completely change your life just by fucking deciding you can. And you can make an impact on someone else's life without being a fucking preachy, lectury douche like I get sometimes, by just saying something that meaningful to someone, even if it's a stranger.
That's so cool. Yeah, guys, support system. We can do this, everyone.
Momentai 3 says it's 3 a.m. right now, so 0 is the next step. Is that right? 3 milligrams?
3 milligrams. So 3 milligrams of nicotine in the vape cigarette.
Oh,
so
okay,
0
right
milligrams, the next step below that.
I should have started at the top and then worked my way down.
Yeah, sorry.
Right on. Cool. So I think that's just about everything that we have for the episode, unless you can think of anything else, Robin.
No, you guys have been super awesome. We're so thankful that you guys showed up and are here with us today. Hopefully 2 hours wasn't too very long.
If so, we'll start reining it in. But you guys just let us know whether or not you like the long episodes, and we'll go from there. We know the audio listeners really like the longer episodes. So if the viewing is a little bit long at 2 hours, then we'll make the adjustment. But just let us know. And I think that's just about everything we have for this week's story time. So keep on creeping on. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, that thing with the stuff.
Bye.